My friends, hello! What a beautiful show we have lined up for ourselves today. I know, I'm late. Yes, by another minute. Every day I tick closer towards a complete and utter disregard for your time. Hello! Oh, kind of bright in here. Hold on. Let me fix that. There we go. That's a little bit better. Hey folks, how's everyone doing? We've got a lot of stuff we need to talk about today, you know. We need to talk about what we need to do from this point forward following the UK election. We need to talk about the fucking men's rights. It's the weirdest thing. Look, here. Men's rights activists versus feminists. So apparently there's this channel called Jubilee that does basically everything those Vice segments did. Come on, screen. You got it. There we go. That does everything those Vice segments did, where they put two people in competing or two groups of people with competing ideologies together in a room and get them to bicker with one another. These videos are huge. How did I not see these before? They never showed up in my feed. I don't go actively looking for stuff that often. Jubilee is cringe to decent. Well, hopefully they're not as eager to DMCA as Vice is. Anyway, I had this video in my I had it in my to watch list for a while, and then I noticed that both Hassan and Destiny did videos on this. Look, it's in the feed right here. Destiny reacts. And Destiny never does react videos, which I can only assume means that he's copying me. So fuck him. We have to do it too. Oh, gotcha, Pig. Interesting. I look forward to seeing his ideology laid bare before me. But before we get to that, folks, before we get to that juicy-ass content, I fulfill an obligation that I've been putting off for a little while. I'm actually going to be interviewed by a student who's going to come on in just a second and ask me, no doubt, incredibly important and interesting questions about me, my life, and my perspective on the world. So stick through that, which you fucking should, by the way. You greedy, drama-mongering hogs. And then we're going to do some other stuff. Oh, I'm not copying Hassan, Pig, and Destiny. I'm copying Pig. Hassan and Destiny copied us. Is that the guy who's made the appearance on JLP? Oh, no. Here, hold on. Let me bring them on. You fucking greedy drama hog. Oh, I love Vosh's content. That's why I only stick around for when he's debating people. Get out of here. Get out of here. I see you through your transparency. Yeah, I saw the Disco Elysium developers thanked Marx and Engels for their political education when they were given an award. That was pretty phenomenal. Maybe I should play that game, huh? Here, let me bring the person in.
Hello.
Hello.
Howdy, howdy.
Howdy, howdy to yourself, comrade. How you doing? Nice mic.
I am doing well, and thank you. I was actually kind of concerned because this is my laptop's built-in mic and thought it might be.
It sounds surprisingly good for a built-in microphone. In fact, I don't think I've ever actually heard a better built-in mic.
Hooray. I picked the right thing for once.
No, it's it's no my microphone, of course, but you still sound.
Oh, yes. Well, not
quite
all of us
nice.
are streamers and pay doodles of money to talk to people on the internet.
Hey, listen, we can all get there one day, okay? Don't be down on yourself.
That's the dream.
Why don't you introduce yourself to the stream?
All right, yes. Hello, stream. My name is Peyton Downing. I am a journalism student at the University of Iowa, and I am currently working on a paper talking about how the internet is changing journalistic principles. And I spoke with my professor, and he thought that talking about live streams and the effects that they have would be a very interesting take. So here I am.
Beautiful. Have you ever been told that Peyton Downing is an extraordinarily powerful name? You sound like you've come from a movie.
Wow, no, that is a great compliment and one I will wear for the day until I die.
All right, hell yeah. Hit me up, comrade, please. No questions hold barred. I remember you saying specifically there were some questions you You asked me if I would rather you not ask. I am an open book, comrade. Hit me. Destroy me.
All right. Sick. So, first of all, why the hell are you here? Why live stream? Why post your stuff on YouTube? Why not, write articles or do prepared content? Why live streaming in specific?
At the end of the day, I can make post hoc justifications for it, but all of us are driven fundamentally by what brings us the most joy. I've been a fan of live stream culture for as long as live streaming has existed. Back during the early days of Justin TV, back when only the extremely technologically proficient were even capable of live streaming, I was there watching those streams. I just liked it. It was just a fun medium for me. And as I grew older, I began to idealize the lifestyle surrounding streaming. The idea of being able to get your thoughts out instantly, the idea of your immediate rhetorical abilities being more important than your ability to refine them in a post speaking sense, the way you would with prepared content. I really liked the lifestyle, and I, through an extraordinary turn of luck, I am now currently living it. Very happy with that. Couldn't possibly complain.
All right, and going off that, how did you, start this up? Going from, just some dude who, watched Destiny to having over 600 concurrent viewers listening to your opinion.
One quick tip to you: hold the push to talk button maybe half a second later than you currently are, because the mic cutoff is happening like the last syllable of whatever word you're speaking.
Understood.
Gotcha. In regards to how I became a streamer, the process was pretty quick and simple, actually. I had been known for occasionally appearing on Destiny's stream to debate him. It had only happened, God, at most maybe 10 times, which is a fair number of times, but this isn't like an ongoing guest stream sort of segment. But a few of the discussions we had had were pretty good, and they were made into YouTube videos. A little while after Hassan Piker of the Young Turks, Chink's nephew's uncle's nephew, began to stream on Twitch TV. He became friends with Destiny and watched over a few of Destiny's old debate videos, including one in which he spoke with me. He liked the video and invited me on to speak with him. And I got, after that conversation, a pretty strong flood of positive support that encouraged me to make my own YouTube channel. The first few videos I did were prepared content, but after that I decided to try my luck out with streaming, and since then things have just gradually picked up. The most I ever got on Twitch was maybe 400 or so concurrent viewers, and after I switched to YouTube, very voluntarily, things have picked up substantially.
Mm-hmm. And going off of, starting, not just, how did you do it? What was like the initial investment? How hard was it for you to get started?
The initial investment was taken care of by a fan. I had no way of starting a channel because I had no money to spare at all. And I had no microphone. My laptop mic was woefully not your primo laptop mic, mind you. This is a highly subpar laptop mic. It wasn't. I couldn't make videos with it or really even do debates. However, someone on Reddit very generously ordered for me a $120 microphone, the Blue Yeti microphone, which I think is a pretty standard sort of industry starter for hobbyists and professionals alike. I got it, and I was able with it to start making my first videos. A little while after that, a viewer of mine donated $50 for me to get a webcam. And with those two investments taken care of, after that, things pretty much spiraled into their own, into self-sustaining.
All right. And sort of going off into the self-sustaining aspect, do you mind my asking, how stable is your income with streaming? Because it doesn't seem like it's a particularly reliable source of income.
Oh no, it's not even slightly reliable. It's actually quite nerve-wracking. Self-employment is and always has been a fairly. I just know this from what I know from my father's days doing self-employment work. Self-employment is and always have been very stressful, particularly in this country with its weak social safety net. I make a decent amount of money as I stand now, and when I make that money, I'm happy. But I recognize that there were a myriad factors out there that could instantly lead to a huge downturn in my finances, which might be so substantial I would have to stop doing this and go out there and try to get, a proper wage job. Um, I'm trying to diversify the income sources that I have to ensure that doesn't happen, but it's always a fear in the back of my mind, which is one of the reasons why I, even with my current income, am so spendthrift. I try to save as much money as I can.
Mhm. So, with any sort of accident or income, if something were to happen, would you have to give up streaming temporarily, or would the dream just be done?
I think at this point I have enough of an audience that I could probably say it would be a temporary retreat from streaming. I'm reasonably confident at this point that unless I do something, unless the logs get leaked, I'm reasonably sure that my public support is going to remain substantial enough that I can always rely on some kind of public advocacy to bring in some form of income. Whether or not that can always be my primary source of income, I'm not entirely sure. I would like it to be. I think that the income I receive is proportional to the amount of content I produce and the amount of people whose lives I enrich, or at least attempt to enrich. So I think that people on the whole are getting a decent bargain. That's one of the things I also like about live streaming, with a television program or with a TV show or something, you're talking about an enormous upfront investment, and then afterwards you hope you make the ratings. Whereas in my case, I know how many people I reach, I know who enjoys my content, and I know what I'm compensated for every single day I do my work. It's a much more direct process that I feel more comfortable attaching my work to.
All right, hmm. So, sorry, I'm just trying to organize my thoughts.
Of course.
So, talking about your content, what exactly is your driving philosophy when selecting what to cover and who to talk to?
More than anything else, my job is to be entertaining. I think a lot of people forget that. There is no point whatsoever in producing any sort of content unless you're talking at the high academic level, unless you are willing to make it entertaining to people. People are busy, people are tired. People do not have the time to consume media which is not interesting to them. There are some people out there who are willing to consume long video essays that are deeply academic and don't have a highly theatrical or entertaining content to them. Most people are not like that. And I recognize that, so I try to be entertaining first and foremost. Secondly, I do everything in my power to advocate for principles which I believe to be ethical, and moreover, to provide arguments which I believe can help the average person not only understand leftism and move towards leftism, but defeat non-leftist arguments should they encounter them in their personal lives. I'm more concerned not with my advocacy, but with the potential advocacy my fans might be able to engage in after I stop doing this, or while I'm doing this.
And that's definitely one thing I've seen through your content is that personally, I haven't seen anyone else talk more so about rhetoric and how to present the ideas in your videos as well as just the ideas in those videos. So, what gave you that first and foremost, that idea to say, hey, it's not just enough to say these things, I need to teach people how to say these things?
I was just really disappointed with the state of discourse on the internet. It's no secret that I'm a Destiny fan. Destiny back in 2016, 2017, 2018 was making an absolute fool of many of the conservatives and skeptics in the YouTube community. And that was all very fun and entertaining and stuff. But I grew worried as I watched it that while people were delighted by Destiny's rhetorical performance, sure, as should we all, and that's great. They weren't really learning anything from it. We weren't really learning how to move forward. And that ultimately is the goal. It's fine and dandy to see one YouTuber have a grand old time smacking down a few dipshits who, make their money off of YouTube. But what's far more important than that is trying to build a system where the people who watch you, which is in Destiny's case, tens if not hundreds of thousands of people, far fewer in my case, but still, who are themselves capable of replicating those arguments. And then the people who hear those arguments are potentially capable of going forward. It's that cascading process, the fountain with one bowl upturned into another, that makes political advocacy so effective. I can't tell you how happy it makes me when I receive an email for somebody telling me that not only did I move them further to the left, but the arguments that I've given in my streams help them move a family member or a friend over to the left. That process is how we win.
Mhm. Moving on from that, outreach, what exactly is your plan for going on and, expanding the stream? Because I know you've been talking about maybe doing more gaming streams. You also have your D&D campaign that you've started. Why expand in those directions?
The D&D campaign is just because I have friends, and I thought it would be fun to do a public D&D campaign with them. If I hadn't done a public D&D campaign with them, I might as well have done a private one. At least doing it publicly, there's a little more fun audience engagement. Though I have to say, I did dramatically underestimate exactly how much time it takes to prepare for a public D&D campaign. It's actually quite extraordinary how much time and effort it takes just to get the art assets together to make sure things are planned appropriately. There's less room, I think, for error when it's done publicly, so that's a little whew. But in regards to the video game streams, that's a personal thing. Even in my video game streams, I'm talking about politics nonstop. I mean, the subjects never really relent. I'm never just talking about the video game. I love politics. I'll never stop talking about politics. I've been like this since high school at least. A lot of it is about harm reduction and about maintaining a consistency in the community. Most people who watch my streams do so because they like my political opinions. Great, wonderful, cool. I'm glad that that's how we engage. But some people watch my streams because they like me, which is, of course, quite flattering. And for those people, for the people who like my, in a not too parasocial a sense at least, my company, my presence regardless of the subject that's being discussed, I think those video game streams are a good way to build a core, tight community base that that is replete with people who not only share my opinions, but are also personally dedicated to forming sort of a stronger, tight-knit, emotionally healthy community. Politics is tiring, and oftentimes, especially if you're a leftist, politics is quite demoralizing. It's important to have those moments, those periods of time where you can relax, where you can feel a little more comfortable, not feel the weight of the world pressing down on the back of your neck.
That makes a lot of sense. And I'm sorry if I'm just using filler words. Again, I'm just trying to make sure there's not some random bouts of dead silence.
No, not at all.
Kind of going off topic here, but what exactly is your philosophy in at least the approach to social media? Because I know you're on Twitter, at least a decent amount. What exactly do you hope to accomplish with your outreach there? Is it more so just personal, haha, this is me, or does the advocacy never stop?
The advocacy never stops. Everything that I do publicly is a tool for me to try and build the greatest possible following. I don't think that I'm the kind of person who will compromise on my positions ideologically. I just don't think I'm that sort of person. I've never really felt an urge to stop believing or saying something that I believe in just because I believe it'll make me more popular. So in lieu of any possibility of me selling out, I want to get the greatest possible following at any expense imaginable. Because doing so is, again, how we win. The more people who follow me, the greater a possibility of me changing a person's mind, the more good I can do for the world. I also, frankly, I like the popularity. I do enjoy it quite a bit, as unbelievably stressful as it can be sometimes. And I really cannot overstate how stressful it is to be able, minute by minute, hour by hour, day by day, see metrics by which you can track your popularity. This is probably a mentality thing that I've yet to get past because I haven't been doing this for super long. But when you, for example, put out a video or put out a tweet and the amount of immediate views or likes or retweets or whatever that it gets is rather low, it's very difficult to not imagine that as a condemnation of the sort of content that you produce. Like, oh God, have I lost it? Have I lost the magic? And of course, no, things are variable. There are ups and downs, and that's how it's been for everyone, even the most popular content creators. But it's a stressful process. But regardless of the stress, I'm willing to put myself forward in whatever way it maximizes the outreach.
Mhm. And going off of putting yourself forward in a certain sense, how exactly do you try to market yourself? Because I know you've talked again in the past about how you try to present like hyper masculine, but also very leftist.
Yeah, one of the problems that I have with general leftist advocacy, especially on YouTube in specific, is that leftist advocacy here is very gay. I don't mean that hyperbolically. It is. It's very queer. The bisexual lighting meme is a meme for a reason. Most of the left-leaning content creators on this site are, well, I'm not saying they're all trans or gender nonconforming or anything, but they don't conform to traditional expectations of gender roles, particularly when regards to masculinity. I would say there are traditionally feminine YouTube content creators who are leftist. I can name quite a few, I think. But in regards to masculinity, this isn't really the case. And one of the reasons for this is because traditional masculinity is, well, in the same way as traditional femininity, it's a subject of a great deal of criticism amongst leftists in, academia and general advocacy alike, for a wide variety of very legitimate reasons. But the aesthetic of traditional masculinity, being large, deep-voiced, strong, bearded, physically imposing, confident, domineering, these are things which are not necessarily in a vacuum bad. There's nothing wrong with any of those characteristics. Maybe you can be rude when you're domineering, of course. There's ways to do it wrong, but there's nothing intrinsically wrong with these principles. And I found a lot of right-leaning people are unwilling to hear messages that they might otherwise be receptive to if it's coming to them from people who they don't intrinsically respect. This is something that people have to remember when it comes to advocacy. For most people, they are always looking for an excuse to not take you seriously. They will do anything they can, looking at your appearance, the way you speak, the way you present yourself, to imagine some characteristic that allows them to disregard your words. The less of those you provide them, the easier it is to get through to them, which is one of the reasons why if you go to, say, for example, any right-leaning forums responses to hbomberguy, who is, well, he produces wonderful content, and God bless me, that Pathologic video was brilliant, probably doesn't conform to traditional masculine expectations. Most of the comments are going to be on his appearance, his femininity, his lack of masculinity, something about soy. He plays it up, but it's an aspect of left advocacy that we're genuinely missing. Apart from the masculine element, I also think there are a dearth of leftists who are capable of holding their own in live debate or immediately responding to content. It's very easy to do reactionary content. You just load up an article that says something that if you're very stupid, you can misinterpret it into say something silly, like well, we can go for the subject of that video Sean did on Sargon of Akkad a little while ago, for example. The article on how the fact that Siri and other spoken voice AIs on your phone don't respond well to domestic violence is a problem Apple has to address. And Sargon of Akkad, how is this a problem? This is so stupid. Who cares? It's very easy to do that sort of content. You just dismiss anything you don't understand. Our job is much harder, which is why I understand we don't do this as often, but I think it's important we do it nonetheless.
Taking a step back from the Sean back to the presenting, how exactly then would you suggest people who don't conform to gender roles or other social expectations, should they just not bother with trying to convince these people who will dismiss them with a hand wave, or how would you approach that?
No, I think they do wonderful work. I think the fact that ContraPoints has managed to see so much success and so much respect across the aisle, at least in some circles, despite her being trans, which is, in the eyes of a reactionary, perhaps one of the most disgusting things it's possible for a human being to be, is a testament to the fact that if you present your content well, you can get through to people in spite of whatever demographic characteristics allow them to normally dismiss you. If you're not the type of person who's easily capable of reaching out towards reactionaries or conservatives or what have you, that's fine. Your content is still very, very legitimate. Just recognize the limitations of what you're able to produce if those audiences are not something that you are trying to go after. I think that people should be very aware of who exactly they're trying to target and the limitations of those of that outreach. There are groups, for example, that I don't think that I'm very good at or capable of targeting. So I generally try not to, because it's not only unproductive, it's uninteresting to me.
Sorry, I'm accidentally tapped out of my questions.
No worries, comrade.
Going back to the when you were talking about analytics. So how you've gone on Social Blade, you've reviewed it over the stream once or twice, but how much do analytics change what kind of content you talk about? Do you like review a bad video, or not a bad video, but just one that didn't receive as many views and go, oh, well, I guess I'm just not going to talk about stuff related to that anymore? Or do you just keep going on after that?
Yeah, no, you can learn a lot from analytics, an enormous amount, in fact. One of the most important lessons I learned happened about 2 months ago while reviewing those analytics, looking at which videos succeeded, which videos did not succeed. I think the idea that I've come to is this. For the most part, people want poppy, clickbaity content. I don't think that's a particularly revelatory piece of information for me. I think most people know that. But the trick is pushing it's containing information which is useful and educational within the purview of that content. So for example, if I want to do a video on, say, incels, no matter what I do or what I say, how I frame that video, it's already going to get attention. Everyone's delighted by the incel, circus craze. What are we doing? This is very interesting. Oh God, how strange. But when it comes to other topics, like, say, for example, rent control, or the falling rate of profit, or these other things that don't necessarily have this big push, you have to find a way to package them in something else people find more interesting. Like, say, for example, a video response. That's one. That's an easy one. Or packaging it in with some recent piece of news. That's the two things people really, really respond to: breaking news and sensational content. And between those two, I think if I can package the interesting subjects in with those, I can come out on top. This is one of the reasons why I'm trying to distance myself a little bit, or at least engage less with the academics who will come on my stream to discuss, with a few possible exceptions. Not because their content isn't interesting and fascinating and incredibly informative to me and to many of my viewers, but to a broader audience, no. Some video, PhD discussing the viability of an anarchist society defending itself militarily. This is wonderful content, and the farther left people in my audience probably appreciate it very much, and I'm happy to provide it to them. But I recognize that those things have to be deviations from an otherwise consistent content production machine.
It sounds like you're reaching the same sort of issue that has happened in news media, since time immemorial with, there are big scientific breakthroughs or just studies that get washed away by just whatever the most breaking random piece of news is.
Mm-hmm. But that's just how life is. There's no sense complaining about it. The best you can do is manage that system as it exists. But that system of sensationalism and breaking news and appealing specifically to those two interests, that's going to be the case as long as social media exists. That's going to be the norm. There's no community that can escape that. Even the purported academics who occasionally, slither on into my communities. I've seen them. They take a great deal of pleasure from watching the debate videos, the reactionary video responses. Everyone succumbs to this process. It's just about how you manage it. You can manage it irresponsibly and do what the mainstream media does, which is where they capitulate entirely to it with no goal other than to make money, and they do nothing to promote interesting or useful content in that sensationalized media format. Or you can try to do what I do, which is use it as effectively as possible without compromising the underlying messages that make your channel what it is. I try my best to be responsible, but, we all want to get those analytics up.
Yeah, yeah. Analytics are key to expanding. So, beyond just you and Hyena, is there anyone else working behind the scenes, or is it just the team of you two at the?
Yeah, White Nervosa. White Nervosa is my systems administrator. She manages my website, and I have her on I pay her as well, though probably not enough for her incredible services. If it weren't for her, then very much of what I do would not be possible. For example, now that I'm exiled to YouTube, YouTube chat is garbage. Sorry to all of you in YouTube. It's not just your fault. It's the chat system itself. It's horrible. Having a website chat that I can look through and a community I can cultivate there is absolutely essential to the work I do. Oh, true. I should clarify. And to less consistent people I work with. Thermia is my YouTube editor, who I pay to occasionally edit videos, which I'm not capable of doing, like the DNC debate highlights. And Derry Cipher is a strong memer and longtime compatriot who occasionally provides services, especially in regards to media production and art asset production. And I've occasionally paid them as well. Those are the people who I think who are in every way, shape, and form responsible for the production of my content.
Mhm. And where would you like to see yourself in the future beyond just having an even bigger audience? Is there any specific kind of content you want to touch on, like any expansions of like stream topics? Where exactly is your goal for the
I mean, I want to expand to the greatest extent possible on this platform and whatever streaming platforms may become viable in the future. I don't have any goals to turn this, at least not within the purview of my streaming, into some kind of professional outlet. I am not, in my stream format, a very professional person. I am actually quite unprofessional in the sense that I go into topics that most would feel uncomfortable with in a syndicated, published setting, and I swear quite a bit, and I'm not particularly good at staying on topic. All of these things put together make it extremely unlikely that I'm ever going to be able to pull out some kind of like show segment from this, which I'm perfectly fine with. I like this. This work is fun for me. Doing this, but getting bigger, would be a satisfying a way of, extrapolating the content as I've produced now. I would be happy with that arc. Of course, the larger I get, the better ultimately. But, there's a limit to how large you can realistically get on this platform. At the end of the day, being a streamer is just that, being a streamer. The extent to which I can affect the opinions of your average, Joe Normie is pretty limited. I would be interested in the future of seeing if there's any way I can extend my reach to people who aren't internet savvy enough to go checking out YouTube content, or YouTube streams and streamed video segments. But I'm not sure how I would do that, at least not yet. Streaming is getting huge, though. It's possible that as time goes on, there are going to be larger corporations that start setting up syndicated, like, streaming unions where they bring on people for occasional content segments. Being able to get my mouth on one of those might be a good idea.
Mhm. That is definitely something that my professor has talked about, yeah, a decent amount of times. There's actually one group in particular that we went over in a class called the Online Performers Group, which is just like a bunch of either just miscellaneous content producers who are all just grouped together, and it functions sort of like a union, to my knowledge, in that they ensure that they get fair sponsorships, they have vacation days, they have help planning, they help review analytics, that sort of stuff.
Right. It's difficult to say where the future of this medium is going to go. Live streaming is relatively new. It's taking off extremely quickly. In just a few years' time, we've gone from live streaming being something that was done pretty much exclusively on Twitch and a few other platforms. Nobody cared about it too much. It was mostly a video game thing. And now, I mean, essentially, like, every form of media you can find it live streaming on some site or another. Corporations are making like big deals with television producers to get their shows aired on platform A or platform B. There's a lot of potential in this future for things to pop off, so hopefully I can take advantage of that.
Hmm. And at least in your opinion, what makes you think that live streaming is this sort of not just like newfound thing, but like why is it good? Why are people going to this as opposed to some other medium?
It's a product of the atomization of the social life under a capitalist system. As people grow more and more alienated from their peers, from their coworkers, from their family members, from their friends, as we grow lonely in our lives, we turn towards forms of media that compensate for that loneliness. There is no form of media more capable of doing this than live streaming. For the people who are watching this right now, I mean, I might as well be in the next room. I'm right there. I can see what they say. They can see what I say. I can speak with them directly. It's as close a form of media as you can get to having an actual IRL friend. And I think that as people grow lonelier, this form of media is going to be far, far more popular. Mind you, there are benefits to it beyond that as well. Just being able to instantly produce cheap content that can be disseminated to a large number of people, even without the atomization of the social life under capitalism. This is still an extremely powerful media format. I expect it to only get more so as time goes on. It also replaces a lot of the extremely, comparatively bulky instant media production formats to which we were previously accustomed. I mean, just think, 20 years ago, the functional equivalent of live streaming was a live television broadcast where you had to physically transmit electrical signals across the airwaves. And now here we are, and not only does that process not require a gigantic studio and a dozen technicians to be working around the clock, but I, an average Joe, technologically speaking, can just do it and set it up in a minute in my bedroom. It's extraordinary. I'm amazed, actually, that we're even capable of like socially responding to the transformation of media production. That's so significant.
Yeah, it really is something just incredible to, consider because, our parents, they probably never would have dreamed of something like this. My mom can still remember when she didn't have Google and had to go to a library to crack open an encyclopedia to do research. And, now here we are, semi-professional streamer, and me, an undergrad student, talking a country away from one another.
Wait, where are you right now?
I am in Iowa.
Okay, yeah, good distance. Right, right, University of Iowa. Yeah, well, I'm largely happy with the changes that have been brought about, but I think there are ways in which they could have been implemented more responsibly. There's no denying that the internet has made people, at least in their physical lives, much more atomized, much more alienated, much lonelier, much more socially ostracized, much more aberrant. Hopefully, there are ways we can reconcile the power of the internet with the horrid social consequences it has wrought in the future.
Mhm. And just talking back on that, how would you make things, more responsible in a sense? What could these sort of platforms be doing to make it so that there's not as many, negative effects of, these atomizations or what have you, besides just banning Nazis?
I mean, there would have to be an extraordinary number of changes, both online and off. Online, we would need, for one, we would need the decentralization of the internet. We would truly need to break apart larger ISPs and relegate control over internet servers to smaller, perhaps even more local responsibilities. I think this would go a long way towards allowing people to make more democratic decisions concerning the types of content they want to see on any given portion of the internet. I don't believe that the government should really step in and moderate the internet. I think that providing it as a public utility is a good idea. Of course, I think access to the internet is a human right at this point. But in terms of directly managing the sorts of people on here, I'm not really comfortable with the government getting to decide which political ideologies are or are not acceptable. What I am in favor of, though, is an implementation of social processes and social conditions that make it less likely people are going to go ahead and get all axe crazy. Nazism and fascism and what have you are responses to that same social atomization under capitalism. Goodness, excuse me. Likewise, it seems likely to me that the relative level of racism and racial stigmatization that we see in the internet will grow less significant and less common as people are in their real lives more significantly integrated as work is done to bring modern social conveniences and technological conveniences to the Midwest and other areas of this country that have been pretty much left to rot over the past 40 years. In short, we need a political, social, and ecological transformation of this country. And if we're capable of doing those things, I think the health of the internet will follow suit. It's not going to happen for a very long time, if it happens at all. But every tiny step we take towards that process is a good one, and I think it should be celebrated.
Yeah, definitely. So just one final line of questioning. How exactly would you suggest, with your knowledge, looking back, how would you have someone set up their own content and get started, whether it be live streaming or prepared content? Because I don't mean to diminish you in any way, shape, or form, but you did get kind of lucky with, the fan investing in you, being on Destiny stream numerous times, as well as, getting platformed by Hassan.
Luck is my recommendation. At the end of the day, I'd love to delude myself with the idea that there's some consistent methodology by which somebody could arrive at what I have done, or even a smaller iteration of what I've done. But at the end of the day, it's simply not the case. Luck is an extraordinarily important component of that. I can say this, however, and perhaps this is a little bit. This can be an uplifting little anecdote. There was recently a video I watched. I'm going to try and find it right now. Here we go. This is a funny little case study in the whimsy of the internet. Look at this.
How does...
I don't know. Are you watching my stream right now?
I am. It is muted, and it's very bizarre to hear your voice 5 seconds before I see your mouth move.
That's reasonable. What you're looking at right now is a video, How Does Terraria Handle Thousands of Tiles, Bitwise, from a YouTube channel called DigiDigger. Now, this is a cute little video. It was released in 2017, a little more than 2 years ago. And when I saw this video recommended to me on my feed, I took a look at it because I'm always interested in computational explanations of video games that I enjoy. What's interesting, however, is that if we go to the social blade of this channel, they had 1.5 thousand subscribers a week ago. At some point over the past week, the YouTube algorithm kicked into gear, and they now have more than 10 times as many subscribers as they did before. Their total video views a day went from in the hundreds to in the 100,000s. In a single day, for several days in a row, they gained more than 1,000 subscribers. Their videos went from having a few thousand views to two of them, the two best videos from that channel, having over 200,000. The YouTube algorithm just kicked them into gear. And that is the whimsy of the internet. They hadn't uploaded anything for those 2 years. They didn't do anything. They didn't promote themselves. No new videos were released. Nothing changed. In fact, if you go over here to the top comment from this video, wow, what happened? 2 years after I stopped posting, the YouTube algorithm comes along and now this. Thank you for all the kind comments. Not gonna lie, this really makes me want to make new content. YouTube and streaming and the internet in general are funny, funny things. It's no guarantee that any one of us is going to succeed online. There's no guarantee I'm even going to be online a year from now. But the guarantee I can provide is this, that if more left-leaning content creators go out there and attempt to make their own content, it is a mathematical guarantee that some of them are going to succeed. And in the long run, that matters far more than any individual's chance of success. If a person is interested in starting a few YouTube videos or starting a live stream or anything along those lines, do it. Put a little effort into it, chill, have fun with the project, and put it out there, and you get what you get. And even if things don't personally succeed for you, that's fine. I mean, plenty of people throughout history have invested more time and effort into hobby projects that didn't make them into money. But it's entirely possible you might end up changing a person's mind, or more people's minds, or actually have a successful YouTube channel. The only broad piece of advice I would recommend is find a niche that nobody else is doing as well as you think you can do, and then do it better than anyone else ever could. Make content that you enjoy, but that you think other people would enjoy too, and make it so well that you feel people would be willing to pay for it were you not providing it for free. If you can do all of those things, and not everyone can, then you have a decent recipe for probabilistic success.
Damn. That is a really good end note. All right, well, I'm tapped out of questions. Thank you so much for having me on and giving me your time.
I apologize for delaying so long. It was nothing personal, of course. I'm just a little flippant when it comes to responding to emails.
Oh, no, of course, I completely and utterly understand. I've done the same myself, no worries.
Do you want to shout anything out in particular before heading off?
Yeah, just two things, really. One is, of course, as you know, a burgeoning journalism student, I have a Twitter. I don't post much. I plan on changing that soon, but for the time being, it's mostly just me retweeting things. Although I may start posting dinosaur facts because those are really fun. And secondly, for those of you out there who may find yourselves on or near college campuses, there is a group called the Roosevelt Group, I believe. They are a progressive lobbyist organization, I suppose is the best way to phrase it. They have, clubs and groups all throughout college campuses across the US, and they do a lot of work coming up with policy ideas at the local, state, and national level. You have a bunch of people all working together to get these implemented. You get them sent off for review. They come back with refined policy reforms, and they give you suggestions as to how to lobby and implement those changes at the local, state, and national level. So if you want to get involved in at least some way, shape, or form, I highly suggest those guys.
Would you mind providing to me the link to your Twitter? Just DM it to me on Discord, and I'll drop it in the chat. What's your journalistic opinion on the UK election?
Oh God. I unfortunately have not paid too much attention to the UK election, but of course it's very unfortunate that Labour lost and that Conservatives had such a large landslide. And I think that it is a horrific affront to journalism when you have the Boris Johnson hiding in a fridge to avoid talking with someone. Like, the amount of things that went wrong there is just an affront to the entirety of the profession.
All right, folks, I'm dropping the Twitter in chat. You should like them. They're a degenerate. They've got fucking Nautilus, fucking League of Legends profile header, and their Discord icon is the Scottish bitch from the recent Pokemon. I know you all love that shit. Go eat it up. There you go.
Hoorah.
Of course,
I will be sure to post dinosaur facts later today.
In this respect, of course, I mean degeneracy in the nicest and most sincere, heartwarming possible way.
Oh, of course. I took absolutely no insult from that comment. And I am, in fact, happy to hear that you would label me as among one of your comrades.
Have yourself a wonderful day. Thank you for speaking to me.
You as well. And again, thank you for your time. Have a wonderful day, and I hope the stream goes well as well.
I do too. Bye. Well, that went better than I thought it would. Nice. Godspeed, Peyton Downing. It's so fucking bright in here. God damn. There we go. That's a little bit better. But now it's a little bit too dark. No. But I've got this. There we go. Now we've done it. Spirit Science made a pro-trans video on his channel recently, and his fans predictably went apeshit. Oh, that is juicy. I didn't think Spirit Science was a bigot, you know? I just kind of figured Spirit Science was a fucking dumbass. All right, we've got men's rights versus feminism memes to go on about soon. Before we do that, though, maybe we can turn this down a little bit. You mock, but getting a proper lighting setup is really difficult. Can we check it out? Hey, we've got other obligations. I made promises. Let me go over the donos real quick. The Pie Man with a 1312. Thank you. A cab to you too, brother. I'll be asleep because overnight life, so playback is my friend. Yes, of course. Well, then you'll see this dono message in the future. How and why did the opinion of Irish and Italian people change from them being non-whites to being white? Because they were economically integrated into the society rather than just being immigrants anymore, and also they were able to contrast themselves against the black population. When they arrived, they were put in the same ghettos as the fucking blacks were. And then they got a little bit more, they got a little bit more established. They were able to juxtapose their position in society against the blacks, and they were sort of tangentially accepted into the caste of whiteness. Jesus Christ with the $10. Hey, what an honor to have you here, comrade. Just want to get ahead of the UK doomerism and suggest everyone check out the results for NI in Scotland. The majority of seats in both places went to the Irish and Scottish separatists, respectively. Tau. Yeah, Jesus Christ. I was just reading this literally right before the stream started. Didn't the Scottish, fucking Deuterino just put forward a motion to To get the fuck out? Wait, Reddit UK politics. Is that where I saw it? Reddit Scottish? God, the fucking Reddit search function is so fucking garbage. How's it so bad? Here we go. The Scottish National Party. Yeah, here we go. Sorry, I had to keep it on the other fucking monitor because porn came up. Jesus. Scottish National Party leader says Boris Johnson has no mandate to take Scotland out of the EU and demands independence vote. Yeah, I feel like this is the end of the United Kingdom. I know that's a little bit. Oh, look, Mega Drive, same article. Fuck you. I know that that's a little bit hyperbolic, but I think this actually is the end of the United Kingdom. It looks like we might be getting a reunited Ireland for the first time in an extraordinary length of time, and an end to Scotland being part of the UK. Which, you know, thank God. Yeah, something good coming out of this. That's what I'm saying. Also, I feel like there's a little bit of a chat delay. Marco? Revan with the $5. I'd be interested in your opinion on the whole. There is no ethical consumption under capitalism. P.S. Thanks for your awesome content, comrade. Thank you. I agree with the principle of there is no ethical consumption under capitalism. Fundamentally, if you exist under capitalism, anytime you buy a commodity, you're contributing to a system that is unethical. That doesn't mean there aren't some things that are more unethical than other things, mind you. It just means that people shouldn't fret trying to like live ethically under capitalism. It's just not going to happen. Or like live ethically in that respect by avoiding all unethically produced goods, because to do so would be it's a folly, you know. Stan G with the $2 daily reminder that John Brown did nothing wrong. True. Brit Mouse with the tier 2 sub. Thank you. Aw, I'm sorry, Brit Mouse. Yo, Downing, I want to read your paper about this. I can trade you a paper I did for English about social media and the rise of neo-fascism. I hope you graduate summa cum laude and help to bring down the right-wing establishment through writing. Brett Mouse, comrade, I'm afraid it's too late for you to speak directly to them, but they're in the Discord if you want to message them. Terribly sorry about the delay. And thank you for the subscription, comrade. Unironically, Posadas John with the $1. Corbyn is stepping down from leadership and electoralism has failed surprisingly, and I'm going to drown myself with alcohol until I forget what the UK is. Yeah, I'm going to, we need to talk about the UK election in a more structured way than the video that I put out the other day. Have I reacted to the PZ Steven Universe video? What is this? There are so many people out there with so many bad takes on Steven Universe. Easy peasy. Steven Universe, a bad show made by awful people for a garbage fan base. Interesting. I don't know how much I'm going to get out of this. Is this a woke scold, or is this... Is this just an idiot? Well, I can't go over this now. That's a 45-minute video, but I'll take a look at it in the future. Dredge with the $5. Could you summarize your pro-gun arguments against anti-gun libs? Yeah, absolutely I can. So most of the violence we see in our society, while that is caused by guns, gun deaths and what have you, I think can be more easily attributed to the existence of cultural and social factors than they can to the existence of the guns themselves. Remember, we can't just snap guns out of existence. It's not possible for a government to do that. We can only take policies to prevent people from getting guns now, and we can try to get guns off the street. But the fact of the matter remains that we have a massive contiguous border with Mexico, through which firearms are quite capable of escaping, though, hey, the hot secret people usually don't want you to know. Cartels tend to use American-produced weapons. Just don't worry about that too much. We can't Thanos snap them away, though. There's a lot of guns in circulation. With the guns here, what can we do about that? Well, I think that, unironically, ending the drug war, mental health, promotion of better gun safety resources, and an end to existing hyper-masculinized gun culture can go a long way towards reducing the number of firearm deaths in this country. Also, a great number of our firearm deaths are men killing themselves. Dealing with the mental health problems of depressive men would go a long way towards preventing some of those firearm deaths. I want to keep guns around because I feel as though it's a Second Amendment right, which I value tremendously, and also because I feel as though there might be larger civilizational threats that we could defend ourselves against if we have firearms. Those are my arguments. Ben grapples with the $5. Hey Vosh, can you talk about harm reduction where abortion is concerned? That's a very complicated topic. I'm not entirely sure what I would say off the cuff with the prompt that you've given me. All I would say is that I'm A-okay with abortion because it does harm reduction. I'm not sure what else you would want me to say. A handful of grapes with the tier 1 sub, 3 months yeet. True. And Sake Tanuki with the $5. Is it too late to recruit Comrade Corbin to come to the US and help us unfuck the left here? You know, maybe now that he's been removed from the leader of the Labor Party, he can come over here and finally do the fucking hot reach around 69 sesh with Bernie that he's been gunning for his whole life. Cola Dict with the tier 1 sub. Mayo name cringe. Not as cringe as the UK elections though. I'm not cringing at the UK elections, comrade. That's not what I'm getting from this, but I'm glad that's what you're getting from that. Hey Vosh, do you at least recognize that more gun restrictions would lead to fewer gun deaths? Of course more gun restrictions would lead to fewer gun deaths, yeah. But I don't think it would be a substantial reduction in gun deaths. And I think we can get more gun deaths reduced out of removing the cultural incentives, the social incentives for that sort of stuff. In my opinion. And there are benefits to keeping guns around, of course. Trotsky for life with the $5. Thank you. Really enjoyed your latest Patreon video. I joined a sociology student association as a result, just to get out of the house. Oh, fantastic, comrade. Trotsky for life. That's actually wonderful to hear. Oh yeah, guys, I do Patreon videos. I've done 3 in all of 7 months. I need to do more. I'm really glad that you're getting out of the house, comrade. It's unironically one of the best things that you can do for your mental health. Just get out there and do stuff. Fear with the $6.90. Thank you. Hey, Vosh, been watching for a few months, mate. Really enjoy the content. Just curious if you've seen this video. What is your opinion of Fuentes getting a platform from Milo? I've seen the video, and I have nothing of immediate interest to say. I've seen parts of it. I skipped around, of course. It's possible that I'll cover it in the future, but there's not much to go over. The platform policy is pretty simple. Fuentes is disgusted by Milo because Milo is a degenerate, interracial loving. Gay pedophile, and but he's willing to tolerate it because Fuentes wants attention, and Milo doesn't give a shit about any political position besides giving him a brief glimmer of relevance. I take great joy from the fact that Milo, who used to be so prominent that he was known amongst White House officials, now does an interview with one of the most prominent alt-right figures and only gets like 150,000 views on the video. I know that's still a lot of views, 150,000 too many, but that sure is not a lot compared to what he used to be able to get. Oh yeah, and Milo's Jewish. Maybe palpable confusion. I'd have to look way more into it. I really should watch some Beau of the Fifth Column videos. Milo is a Nazi though? Yeah, but Milo is only a Nazi because he made money from being a Nazi. Eljest with the $5. Thank you. Friendly reminder that the U in PragerU stands for urine. It does, and I'm really glad they left that that acronym open for interpretive fun. Valith with the $5. Apparently Boris Johnson categorically refuses to allow Scotland to leave the UK. Think we'll get an SRA in addition to a renewed IRA if an inner Irish border comes out of Brexit? I think there's going to be legitimate violence at the border. From what it seems like, Scotland as a whole is like fucking disgusted with Boris Johnson. Like there's not much ambiguity there, you know, which makes sense. It's not like Bojo gives a single shit about Scotland. I think there might end up being more violence, and the Irish thing is something we also need to keep a look on because there is literally no version of Brexit that doesn't violate the Good Friday Agreement. For those of you who don't know, probably not Hogan. For those of you who don't know, the Good Friday Agreement was established after a wake of terrorist violence along the border between Northern and Southern Ireland, which decreed there would never again be a wall put before the two halves of Ireland. It would never be separated again. This was done because there was a wall placed. It's a very complicated history. However, the problem is if you fucking do Brexit, suddenly Southern Ireland, which is not a part of the UK, and Northern Ireland, which is a part of the UK, now when they make trade with one another, which they do all the time, it's the same island. It's the same island. They share a border with each other because, of course, they do. When trade goes across, now that they're no longer part of the same European economic agreement, now there has to be a wall to prevent shipments from just crossing the border. There has to be a wall again. There's no way to do Brexit currently without violating the Good Friday Agreement. So it looks like there might be violence in that border again. It really is going to be the end of the UK, unless some like crazy shit happens or everyone just chills the fuck out. And I hope they don't chill the fuck out, by the way. Fuck the UK. Get them out of there. Even if it's hard for the UK, fuck the UK. It's disgusting that like Northern Ireland and Scotland have to be pinned down to England when the English rural fucking boomers don't give a single shit about anyone in the UK other than the English. Everything that I've seen seems to back that up. I guess Wales is just like cool with it. I have no fucking idea. Anyway, we gotta finish these donos, then we gotta do the video. Yeet Boy with the $6.66, very evil. Hey Vosh, been watching since you started the channel. Not trying to come off as parasocial, just wanted to genuinely know how you deal with sadness from the lack of forward movement in the left. It doesn't make me sad so much as it makes me despair. They're different feelings. Really though, when I think about it, all I can really think of fundamentally is that I'm doing the best that I can. There have been many points throughout history, where people have died feeling as though things are over. The Black Death, basically every person who's ever died to see their civilization invaded. There have probably been, over the course of history, literally billions of human beings who died thinking they were facing the end times. And if we die in that same position, at least we're in good company, you know? Because life so far has continued to chug on in spite of all of that. As kingdoms rise and fall, as empires die and wither, as plagues ravage the continent, as threats of nuclear war chill the entire world, still too does humanity push on. And we may never, you know, eventually that process may come to an end. But if nothing else, at least we're doing what we can to keep things moving forward. Gayfesh with the $5. Hey Vosh, TNG predicts Irish unification in 4 years. No shit. Oh man, The Next Generation is such a good fucking show, dude. I need to go, but I need to rewatch The Next Generation. The Next Generation is an unironic, like, god tier show. Holy shit. Gabby with the $6. Thank you. Part 1. Oh, just can't come out of a 13 years horrible depression, feeling ready to start my own lefty channel. How should I choose the name? I wouldn't like my real name to be in it. And then part 2, with the additional $5, I was thinking of making a new name, something like Lara Stark, or any suggestions? Gabby, yeah, think of my channel's name. It's just Vosh. It's pretty simple, right? It's very memorable. You want a name that easily rolls off the tongue, hopefully not too many syllables. You want it to be something people can easily remember. You also want it to sound Anglo if you live in a English-speaking country. You want it to sound vaguely like the language of the country that you're using. I'm pretty sure I've seen studies indicating that people have an easier time remembering words, terms, even names that correspond to the linguistic laws of the country they live in. So I would recommend you adhere to that. Apart from that, though, you don't need to think too much about the name Comrade. It should have a personal meaning to you. But remember that I literally named my channel off of a nickname for a character that I created as an OC for a comic book I'm never going to write. That's what Vosh is. Vosh is anglicized Vulcanida, and Vulcanida was the protagonist of a story that I have drawn one half of one page of over the past 6 years. So it doesn't need to be like a big thing, you know? As the name's punchy, people now remember Vosh. Nobody forgets my name. Yeah, also apparently it's the name of a town in like Bolivia Stan or something. Ben grapples with the $2. Cons would say abortion harms the fetus, and I would argue that fetuses don't have personhood because personhood is an emergent characteristic from exposure to the world, which fetuses do not have. It's DC3 with the $5. Would you ever set up a debate with the Amazing Lucas? He's such a transphobic piece of shit that needs to be called out. The Amazing Lucas does not strike me as the type of person who would ever agree to a debate. But it's true, that person is a truly disgusting piece of shit. And truly unfunny, too. Hold on, let me just... Venny McChuggins, usually I would ban you for that, but I do quite like Eva as well. Oh my goodness! Comrade Courtney with the gifted tier 1 sub. Thank you. Prager Poo Peppo, thank. True. And Left Hand Path, the $2. Gamer rights or human rights? Maybe less true. Sake Tanuki with the $5. Thank you. I wouldn't try to be parasocial with you anyway. I don't know the drop zones near Seattle and probably couldn't glide down on a parachute anyway. Yeah, it's a pretty fucking big city. Easy to get lost, you know? I don't know if I could see my house from a plane, especially since I don't think I've ever actually flown over my own neighborhood. SEA is out of the way. The Seattle airport. All right, folks. Let me take a big glug of water, and then we're getting right the fuck to it. How's my name, Vosh? I chose it because I don't have an appropriate streaming space and I mostly game on the bed, haha. On the Bed Gaming, it's not necessarily a bad name. Just keep in mind that that name needs to be applicable no matter where you are in your life. If you're like 2 years down the road and you actually have a successful channel, On the Bed Gaming doesn't sound very apropos anymore. You have to have... That's why I think names are a better thing to go with, not like cute indicators, you know? I tried to be cute with my original name, Vosh Vidya, but that was so close to Vati Vidya that when you tried to search for my name, it redirected to Vati Vidya. So that was pretty bad decision making on my part. Rosie Specs, how's my name? I mean, Rosie Specs sounds nice. A little hard to pronounce though, Rosie Specs. Easy to slip on that. It's memorable though. All right, folks, my friends, how often do I talk about... How often do I talk about feminist content here? I feel like I talk about women's rights not super often because I kind of take it for granted that anyone who's watching my stream agrees with the basic tenets of feminism. But, you know, not everyone does. Not everyone does. Men's rights versus feminism. Is toxic masculinity real? I'm ready. I've never seen this Jubilee channel thing before. I like the setup, though, where they're all facing one another. I think it's a lot better than the Vice setup, where they're in, like, the stacked chairs, and they're all facing forward. I'm ready. Show me the way.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for tuning in for Middle Ground, which is all about disagreeing and having a dialogue.
That's right. Make sure you stick around to the end, because we want to discuss more about the ethos of Middle Ground. But for now, we hope you enjoy.
Cool.
You said that women are misguided. We are not misguided. We do not need you to shepherd us.
Oh boy. Oh man. Oh, hold on. You know this is going to be content because we've got like the nice bar stools. Look at this shit. Look, the curve. These are just nice bar stools. Oh no. Oh no.
How's it going?
One ticket for the Joker, please.
Hello.
Would you call yourself a feminist?
I would.
Yes, an intersectional feminist.
When you hear the word feminism, what comes to mind?
Marxism?
Oh no. Oh, that's not a normal answer. Oh no. That's not a normal answer at all. Normally when you hear a response that's like, what do you think of? I think of man-hating. Oh no.
To me, feminism is fairness.
I think that it's unfortunately misguided.
Feminism is a flawed movement.
When you hear the phrase men's rights, what comes to mind?
Aggression.
Advocating for the human rights of man as a class.
I start laughing.
What do you hope to get from the conversation today?
I would hope to get some insight and probably, if anything, agree on a lot more than disagreeing.
I actually hope to get a little bit more understanding of why some men think this way.
Do you think there's middle ground between men's rights activists and feminism?
We'll see.
I will say this. One thing that always bothers me about the feminism versus not feminist videos or whatever, that really fucking bugs me is, oh wait, you're right, I'm blocking the logo. I was just trying to get out of the way of the subtitles. Here you go. There we go. No copyright, Arena. Yeah, the Asian dude's pretty hot. One thing that always bugs me, all the feminists are women, all the men's rights activists are men. I get why all the men's rights activists are men, because there are no women men's rights activists. But there are like plenty of dude feminists. That just bothers me because it makes it seem like it's a men versus woman thing, when in reality, modern intersectional feminism advocates like across the board for men and women, and I guess everyone else. So for them to frame it with just like the feminism is women and the men's rights is men makes it seem as though this is a gender war rather than like a difference in ideology. I used to be an MRA when I was a freshman in high school, and I'm a woman. Damn, my preconceptions have been blown away.
Hi, my name is Zach, and I am 24 years old.
This is Chris. I'm a PhD student at the University of Southern California, and I'm also a Title IX specialist who challenges discrimination against men on college campuses. And I'm 30 years old.
Hi, I'm Derek. I also go by Brendio. I'm a YouTuber, and I'm also known as an incel, which is an involuntarily celibate.
Wait, Brendio. Is that not it?
Hi, my name.
And I'm also
Against men.
I also go by Brendio. I'm a YouTuber.
Brendio. What's the name? Link in the description. Wait. Why is Derek's channel not a link?
Hey everyone!
Oh, it is here. Okay, wait. Why is that one not a link? How traps groom incels. Better incel than cuck. Incel workout routine. Alternatives to gravity.
Between the participants of the relationship and society itself. Happy being a bad mother and then doing this to another guy. It's a ridiculous notion. You're asking me to make the world a worse place than it already is. And to the normie, I'd say I was still an incel at one point, even if I'm volcel currently. Me being
Wait, he's volcel now? Wait, what? You can't call yourself an incel if you're a volcel? What the fuck, Derek? Wait, were you briefly a volcel for that video and then now you're fucking back to being an incel? Was he an incel and then one time like a girl looked at him and he thought like, oh shit, I would never give that disgusting harpy my dick. I'm a volcel now. But then one day he like lost faith and tried to fuck and didn't, and he couldn't get it in, and now he's back to identifying as an incel? What a fucking liar, dude. What a Weasley little liar.
YouTuber, and I'm also known as an incel, which is an involuntarily celibate.
Hi, my name is Alicia. I am a writer, poet, and teaching artist.
Hi, I currently work in the pet health industry, and I'm 30.
I'm 24. I'm a graduate student with a degree in health sciences, and I'm excited to be here today.
Can I get my men's rights activists in the left and my feminists on the right?
Oh.
Step forward if
Oh.
this statement is true for you. I believe men and women are different but equal.
What? Whoa. That's such a loaded... Of course men and women are different. I don't know what they mean by equal. I like how the one feminist like waited for a second because they were thinking what I was thinking. By different, do we mean like fucking skull shapes? Or do we mean like, oh yeah, well women as a bimodal distribution are more likely to have a fucking pussy. And the dudes are just staying there. Damn.
I know as a woman that I don't have the same physical strengths. Men and women are built differently. I think whenever things are built differently, it's for a reason, right? But at the same time, the amount of limits that have been put on women historically, like the fact that not too long ago we were just allowed to like start voting. Even today, like the wage gap, just all types of stuff, like women just don't have a lot of rights that are just, it should have nothing to do with what gender we are.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with this. Yeah, that sounds fine to me, right? I mean, they're like, no, guys, nothing she said was turf. You guys are so, very hyper vigilant of the turfs. I get it. There's nothing that she said was turf. I don't agree with the whole like we were made differently for a reason thing, but that doesn't necessarily have anything to do with like one's positions on trans people.
To be able to be paid equally or just be treated with respect. So, yeah.
I do believe that, of course, there are biological differences between men and women. And of course, there should also be legal equality. Of course, I disagree with the idea that women face systemic discrimination. You just mentioned the wage gap, which has been debunked so many times.
Uh-oh.
I've studied evolutionary biology quite a bit. And men and women are very different from not just a physical, the bone structure, the neurological department as well as the chemical balances. And also, I don't believe that men and women are equal under the law either, or they should be rather. Children are not equal under the law. And it's not because we hate children, it's because we love them and we want to protect them.
So if...
Matt, why is it, I'm feeling for my fem cells out there, why is it that when you find a dude who wants to protect you, we got this Andy over here. Why do we got B-suit Andy over here? That's the person who believes women need to be loved and protected. Why does love and protection have to mean that women are children?
Love them and we want to protect them.
So if you believe we're not equal, then that you're inferring that one would be greater than the other.
Well, so let me
so that's
chime in with my perspective.
Yeah.
As far as not being equal, I don't think that necessarily means inferior or superior. When it comes to certain things like roles like childbearing, a woman is going to be far more productive and a lot more nurturing than, say, a man. And when it comes to doing a lot more of the heavy lifting and the work, a man is probably going to be more suited for that role. And
I love this. This is the weaseliest fucking talking point there is, okay? This is how you know when you're talking to a fucking weasel, okay? So when the question comes up, men and women are different but equal. Okay, well, obviously they're different. I mean, generally speaking. But are they equal? Well, we're usually talking in a legal capacity here, What, like every individual is equal? No, we usually mean like broadly these groups are treated equally. When somebody steps up, fucking 9,000 IQ Andy over here steps up, sadly the hottest one of the three dudes, steps up, throws his hand up and says, well, actually, I don't believe in equality, but by inequality, I don't even necessarily mean good or bad. I just mean we're differently suited to different things. That's just really quickly, that's the exact same thing that race realists do. They'll do the same thing. Well, it is undeniable through evolutionary psychology that the races are different. We're not saying they're better or worse. Obviously the blacks with their warrior gene have, greater athletic capabilities and are taller and can throw balls farther. And whites, well, we're not saying they're better. We're just saying that they're more civilized, capable of making buildings, laws, creating civilization, developing, systems and rules, and overall, functioning as modern civilized human beings. And Asians can do that too. They're higher IQ. See, it's all, I'm not racist. There's just differences. It's not good or bad. Warrior gene, civilization gene, it's the same trick that gets played exactly. Hey, we're not saying, when we say we're not equal, we're not saying one's better or worse. You guys are just better at doing stuff like sitting at home barefoot raising children, and we're better at doing everything productive in society. Oh, so you mean you're better? No. Why are you ascribing those positions to me? You guys get the grift.
I don't think that makes them any better or worse. We are just built, created, and born different.
I would also like to elaborate. I am not saying that they are worse overall or better overall.
They complement each other.
Like he said, yeah, they do.
They complement each other beautifully.
They work very well together.
We need each other for offspring.
I mean, just like children and adults complement one another naturally. Children get raised by adults, and adults raise children. Incel Andy over there already made the "you're like children, we want to love and protect you" meme, so we already know what direction we're going with this.
I mean, that's part of the beauty of it, and I think trying to equalize them and make them the same and, transition and all that, I don't believe is going to be the most conducive when it comes to...
Wait, transition?
Raising children, but also...
Nobody said anything about making everyone the same, only just being treated equally.
overall well-being.
I want to note that you brought up children being unequal to adults. I just hope you weren't comparing women to children.
He was.
I mean, it was technically a comparison of women
Okay,
and children.
I don't need you to protect me. I just need you not to harm me. I can protect myself. I'm very capable of doing what I need to do. Okay?
Okay, sure.
100%.
Okay.
I am an incel, or an incel advocate, I suppose. I don't hate...
Oh, wait, he's not even an incel. This fucking liar. This fucking clout chaser, dude. What a piece of shit. Not even a fucking incel. Stolen valor. This is fucking stolen valor right here.
Women at all. I think we're different, and they have aspects that are superior to men as well. It's just very contextual on the subject.
Toxic masculinity is real.
Yeah, that should be an easy.
I think that toxic masculinity is definitely a real thing. It's kind of just the idea of what masculinity should be, but it goes wrong a lot of the times, saying that violence, sex, power, being a controlling person makes you a man.
I see it in very unfortunate places, like when the young men or boys in my family, even from like toddler age, are told, you shouldn't be crying, boys don't cry. And what that turns into, I see it when I'm in a bookstore and a guy who tries to get my number says, why y'all always gotta act like that? And he sincerely had this like cracking voice, like he was hurt, but it was an entitlement. And that's
Hey, notice how the feminists here are speaking genuinely and sincerely about the plight that men experience in this respect. Isn't that incredible? This is something, this argument right here is a slam dunk for the feminist side if they can argue their position well. Because with the MRAs, when they pretend to care about men, what they complain about in their fucking communities, is functionally a product of the toxic masculinity that feminists talk about. The fact that men are shamed for crying, or the fact that men are like are expected to be the breadwinners. These are unquestionably components of toxic masculinity. Yeah, it's almost like feminism is for men too. But I'm ready for their counter arguments. I'm fucking ready. Wait, does someone have fucking incel fake cell Andy's Twitter? Apparently he's a fan of Nick Fuentes.
toxic masculinity. It's saying like, you don't realize how your behavior is harmful.
What does toxic masculinity mean? Is it character traits? Is it upbringing?
The suppression of feeling for a lot of men, because throughout childhood they're told man up. So because of that, there's a lot of repression. Repression then is usually channeled into anger for some people because they not always know how to express because they were told not to express.
So upbringing and
That's part of
environment.
it,
Okay.
yes.
But not something that's inherently a part of men.
No.
Okay.
I think that, when you're showing your emotions, especially to random people, random women in some cases, they will view you as weak. I was raised by a single mother. I love her. She's my mom. I love her. But I could have used being told to act like a man. I think back, there were some cases where I was too emotional, and that negatively affected how I, what happened to me. And
May I ask a question?
Sure.
What is your definition of weak as a man?
Wait, what the fuck did that have to do with the question? Wait, what the fuck did that have to do with the question? We're talking about toxic masculinity, and he was like, well, I actually thought that if I had Amanda with me, what is that? Yeah. What does that have to do with the point? You could even argue that's a point on their side. Because they felt as though without like a strong masculine hand, they couldn't socialize. I mean, I have no idea like what personal experience that guy's gone through. I don't want to like extrapolate or anything. I feel like if I do, I'm just going to make a fool of myself. But, oh, wait, man, he really is a Fuentes fan. He's the Groiper Army, dude. The Groiper Army over there. Fake cells. Got Nick Fuentes over here. We've got some Ava shit fucking ruining my favorite shit. And Mr. Medicare, hey man, I want to talk to you about Flat Earth. It's important. Alright. Is this like performance art designed to enhance my life? Wait, I thought he didn't have a dad. Wait.
Told to act like a man. My mom, I love her. They will view you as weak. I was raised by a single mother. I love her. She's my mom. I love her. But I could have used being told to act like a man. I think.
Okay, maybe he means that when he was young, he was raised by her, but he still had like a dad that he maybe got in with later in life. This isn't necessarily hypocritical. This isn't necessarily a lie, but the tweet is still really funny.
Back, there were some cases where I was too emotional, and that negatively affected how I, what happened to me. And,
May I ask a question?
Sure.
What is your definition of weak as a man?
Not being as forward as you could be, not being as honest, or trying to be not as emotional as you don't need to be. You don't have to cry over a cut. I know, sometimes cuts hurt a lot, but sometimes it's necessary to be strong for the benefit of not just yourself, but for the people around you.
He's literally doing it. He's doing the toxic masculinity. Dude, just being a man is just sometimes when you want to cry, you have to force yourself not to, not just for your benefit, but for everyone else's. You just can't let people see you cry, But you believe in toxic masculinity? I can't fathom having this little self-awareness. Even the fucking Asian dude, looked at him.
It's necessary to... I know, sometimes cuts hurt a lot.
See, look, he's giving him a look. Did you see that?
It's necessary to be strong for the benefit of not just yourself, but for the people around you, It's fine to act emotional in certain cases, but I don't think it's fine to act that way with a woman. Maybe, you have a really good friend and he sees you cry, he's your best friend and you're crying about something really personal. I think that's fine.
I feel like you're conflating two different situations because you...
I feel like you're bringing a lot of trauma into this discussion that needs to be unpacked. I feel like if you just let Incel Andy talk, he would go off into the fucking distance. You could just give this kid a microphone in an empty room and make a TV show out of it. Just asking him a prompt every 45 minutes or something.
Started off with saying random person or even women. So it feels like, okay, this is a woman that you don't have a bond with or any type of relationship with. And then you mentioned, or in front of your best friend, that's okay to cry. Well, that woman could be your best friend. That, so.
I don't think you're friends with a woman.
Because you don't see us as equal, as you said before.
I don't think showing emotions is a sign of weakness. I actually think it's a sign of strength. Men do live shorter lives, and that's because...
I love the dichotomy, too, because for the feminist side, they were able to get who I assume are three, reasonable, chicks to talk about this. I can only assume. I don't think any of them are, busting out some crazy shit. But of the three dudes they're talking to, they had to bring in a neo-Nazi... Volcel loser who doesn't think you can be friends with women. They couldn't get three normal MRAs. They were what do we have in the docket for MRAs today and feminists? Well, for the feminists we have three reasonable, respectful women. Okay, cool. Whoop, whoop, put it in there. What about the MRAs? Okay, well we've got these two guys, right? But this guy, Yeah, just throw him in there. Just throw him in there, holy shit. It's an implicit condemnation of the ideology. Yeah, plus he's a Weasley little liar, dude.
Because of a repression of emotions, and that's due to many things that patriarchy has instilled.
Repression of emotions.
It has been shown that...
Repression of emotions, chiding, he laughs after just explaining how men should force themselves not to cry when they want to cry.
A person's well-being, their lifespan is shortened when they are not able to express their emotions. In addition, when they don't have physical touch or when they don't have a partner to keep them company. We are human beings here. We need to talk to each other. And if you think that our health isn't affected when you're not able to express that you are sad or upset, you're wrong.
I love how the women have been roped into doing fucking impromptu therapy for this guy. Holy shit. He's like a black hole of trauma care.
I think that men's rights activists are only men's rights activists as a response to women expressing that they want more equality. I don't think they focus on actual men's rights issues, and rather it's just an attack on women and feminism.
True, by the way, true. And I've said this before, by the way. Most of the positions that men's rights advocates say they care about are dealt with by feminists. You don't like being treated improperly by fucking family courts? Feminism's got you. You don't like male disposability? Feminism's got you. You don't like the fact that men are shamed for crying or expressing themselves in ways that aren't archetypically masculine? Feminism's got you. You don't like the fact that men are expected to be the breadwinners while your lazy fucking femoid wife sits in the house fucking your dog all day? Feminism's got you. Feminism's got you covered, man. Intersectional feminism. I know it's spooky name, feminism. It's got feminine. Feminine. Who likes that? You know, femoids. But really, in all my life, I have never seen a men's rights activist bring up a legitimate point that wasn't already dealt with by feminists. But they never listen to it when the feminists bring it up. When the feminists bring it up, they laugh at it.
Today, women have more advantages than men.
I'm ready. Oh yeah, bring it in there.
I can speak from a hiring standpoint when it comes to things like affirmative action, and there are certain roles that traditionally men and women have been able to serve in, and now women can basically do all of those things, right? Because we've had such a strong advocacy for equal representation in the workplace. Whereas, for example, you'll never find a man as a midwife nurse, and I don't think it's appropriate. That's why there are those differences.
Wait. There are still fields that are heavily biased towards male and towards female participation. What does this have to do with anything? Wait, he started speaking about affirmative action. Does he have any evidence to indicate that women are getting preferential treatment when it comes to their invitation into male-dominated fields? Because there are plenty of female-dominated fields that have had men coming into them as well. The reason why the difference seems asymmetrical is because historically, men's jobs have been better jobs than women's jobs. You don't see people rushing over to become airline stewardesses and midwives and shit, elementary school teachers. But you do see a lot of people rushing over to be engineers and tech workers and managerial, staff, which are traditionally run by men. So if there seems to be some sort of asymmetrical breakup in the disproportionate ratio of men to women in a given profession, that's probably because before that point, men were the ones who ruled in that sector and their sector paid more.
Women in the most important parts of society have an advantage. There's a lot of positions that men simply aren't getting hired at anymore,
and
because of the fact that they're a man.
Such where? The worst of women's jobs are way cozier than the worst of men's jobs? Yeah, because men get the jobs like sewer technician and construction worker and soldier. Hey, you know what pays really well? Construction worker, a sewage technician. I mean, we can let women in there, if they're able to do the job, then why can't they do the job, right? Also, I would love to see a citation on that because there are also women in the military.
And it's not just in the workforce, it's also, I would say, it's a lot easier for a woman to find a relationship, even if she,
Why?
says it's finding the right guy is so hard. It really isn't. But sometimes for a lot of guys, finding a girl at all is hard.
Okay, I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree that men have a much, much, much harder time finding a partner than a woman. I do find it funny that he's scoffing at the idea that it's hard to find a good man when it's him talking. I do find that a little bit funny.
If I have to consider what I wear before stepping out the house, because I don't want to draw some type of attention, I don't know how many other men.
Women deal with a lot of sewage and mostly do it for free. Yeah, true. We don't even want to fucking get into unpaid house labor, okay? And how child rearing is societally necessary labor that is not compensated for. Yeah, we don't even need to get into the fact that capitalism has historically relied on the fact that women are socially expected to do literally like 20 to 30 to 40 to 50 hours a week of child rearing and housekeeping completely uncompensated, so their partner can do the same level of work but end up making all of the household income for it, giving them a disproportionate level of economic control over the relationship. Women have a much easier time getting laid than men do, unless you're a gay dude, in which case, Godspeed. There are reasons for that, though. I want to see if we can get into that.
And have to consider, is this outfit going to be deemed safe for me? Any situation that I've experienced where I physically felt endangered simply because I don't want to give my number out. It's part of that entitlement for men. You're not entitled a conversation with me. You're not entitled to my number.
That aside, it's like, are you going to make one example of the entitlement of men when it comes to asking for your number be the all-encompassing thing that all men have a problem when it comes to approaching women?
Well, firstly, it's not just an example. It's not necessarily...
Wait, what? He's like, men have trouble approaching women, and she gives an example of how she feels male entitlement gets in the way. And he's like, well, there's more than that example. Wait, you give an example, dude. You're the one who brought the fucking point up.
All men. I don't dislike men.
I don't know about the West, but in Russia, you're very unlikely to get a job as a kindergarten teacher if you're a man because people would think you're a pedophile. Damn! Ugh! It's almost like the expectation that women are the ones who are supposed to raise children has affected men in a negative way. I sure do wish I lived in a highly feminist society where men aren't burdened with the expectation that they should be shunting childcare off into their partners. So when I have a fucking kid, I can go to the park with them and chill out with my fucking kid, and their kid fucking baby friends fucking running around smearing their faces into dog shit. And I can just chill there without people thinking I'm a fucking pedophile. All it would take is for society to recognize that women are not the designated fucking child rearers. But unfortunately, sadly, I live in hell world where I, as a dude, am not expected to be able to form emotionally intimate ties with my young children. Not that I have any, just to be clear to new listeners. And for that reason, it is strange for me to be out there with other kids.
Love sports, I play video games. I have bros, I hang out with dudes. We just want men to realize that if you have friends that are having locker room talk, as a man, as an ally, please say something to your friends.
Do you think repressing that is really the solution here, though?
Repressing that. Okay, dude. All right.
If it's in a healthy male space,
I don't think that's healthy. I think it's
no,
toxic in itself.
I mean, if you're making jokes and you're doing all of that.
Jokes that are harmful jokes are not healthy because they just lead to people normalizing things. People always say, oh, it's just a joke. But when someone else hears it, they don't realize how that resonates. And again, how that turns into violence.
Okay, this really depends on the jokes, okay? Listen, this really depends on the jokes, okay? I make jokes about women, all right? I'm not a woman. Fuck women, on it. Let's be fucking real here, okay? Trash people. But when I'm over here, okay, and I'm chilling out with my fucking friends, who are, by the way, mostly fucking women and trans people, or non-binary people or whatever, I'm fucking chilling out with them. I'm dabbing out like crazy. I'm making jokes on the femoids, all right? If we're talking jokes like, dab, these duplicitous femoids want nothing but to take my childcare money. That's okay. We're probably in the clear. But a lot of the jokes that I make about like women are usually pretty, I wouldn't say they're light, I would say they're mostly pretty self-deprecatory and satirical. Usually I'm actually the butt of the joke. But there are a lot of guys out there, and I'm being real with you for a second, okay? Listen, I'm not trying to kill your humor. I'm not trying to hurt you. But there are a lot of guys out there for whom the joke kind of begins and ends with, I want to rape you. I've been in healthy male spaces, okay? Listen. I've been in the locker rooms, all right? I've been in the gymnasiums. I've been in the pro gamer Smash Bros tournament backstage waiting rooms, okay? There's a lot of jokes that are just like, this girl is hot. I wish I could rape her. that happens a lot. That's a really, I've heard that one a lot, you know? It gets phrased in a lot of different ways, but it's always kind of the same thing, you know? God, man, I really wish I could fuck her. Ah, man, if only she wasn't such a fucking tease, dude. Ah, God, dude, why the fuck would she wear that dress? She doesn't want people to look at her ass like that. It's kind of stuff like that, you know, a little bit, just kind of maybe smidge rapey, possibly, maybe, perhaps. I can understand why people would be a little uncomfortable with that, even if you're saying it in private, because the things that you say in private are indicative of the things that you actually believe here in your head, which is actually what the problem is. So even if you're in a healthy male space, and you're saying stuff like, God, that stupid fucking bitch, dude. Why would she wear shit like that? She won't let me fuck her. Cool, great. The words are out there. They're gone. They've dissipated into the air. But the thoughts that made those words remain locked up here in your meat space. And you know, that's a little weird, personally. I don't usually get angry at girls when I can't have sex with them. Mostly because I'm just on my way finding someone else to have sex with. But, I hear a lot of men talk like that, you know? Not the best. So maybe curtail it on that a little bit. That's my perspective on this particular topic right here, okay? Will manlets get free human growth hormone in the left no state? Yes. No, because there will be no manlets, okay? In the left no state. All men are kings. All men are kings. Vosh have been in Discord chats where boys constantly make jokes about poking the butts of femoid bosses in the dungeons we raid. It's absolutely disgusting. I mean, I don't mind like making comments on like attractive video game characters or anything like that. I mean, it just happens all the time. I've just been around a lot of men. This kind of shit just comes up a lot, you know? I don't know. I don't know why they keep doing that shit.
Like, this is not an isolated situation. I'm only thinking of 3 off the top of my head, because if I think of too many, I'm gonna spiral
so
right now.
what's the alternative? Men shouldn't talk about these things.
No,
What things? I really wish they would clarify. I really, really wish they would clarify what we mean by these things. Because right now, when we're talking about bad jokes in the locker room, the girls, the feminists, are thinking about rape jokes, and the boys, the MRAs, are thinking about like lighthearted, casual jokes, like lightly chiding women. They need to clarify what exactly they're talking about.
I think men can have a healthy dialogue. I don't think men have to be toxic in order to have a conversation. I know plenty of men that are able to have conversations about healthy, productive things, just like women are.
Well, it's not obviously something that I have personal experience with, but only 1% of all people on the death row are women in this country. So when women and men commit identical crimes, women are much more likely to, for example, escape the death penalty.
Wait, are you telling me that in our society, there's an expectation that men are more dangerous that might lead to us punishing them harsher for the same crime? This has nothing to do with what the girls are saying, by the way. But hey, damn, if only I lived in a feminist society where men aren't naturally expected to be capable of greater and more severe violence. Wow, it's almost like the paternalistic assumption that women aren't capable of harming people as much as men are actually leads to society being worse off. Thank you for that high-power feminist talking point. I really wish these chicks were like, these chicks, I'm coming off of fucking sexist here, whatever. I really wish that these disgusting femoids were capable of responding immediately to these points. Like, every time they complain, they should be able to fire back. Dude, that's patriarchy. Like, no shit, dude. You expect, like, society tells us, your fucking butt buddy, B-suit Andy over there, literally just talked about how women are, like, docile little children that need to be protected, and you're surprised that the fucking justice system is giving us easier sentences than men when it comes to violent crime? What the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, I agree. That's why I'm a feminist.
And that's just plain sex-based discrimination.
That I agree on.
That's true. Look, I'm thinking about
But
basic
you have to bring it back. You can't just agree. You have to bring it back.
needs, like around the globe, the women who don't even have like proper like sanitary like products.
Okay, I think we're just skipping around on points now. Yeah, okay. These are edited a ton, but you should be able to respond to those points in a punchy way.
I mean, I have to agree. Just small things, like a tax on a box of tampons. Do you think I choose to do this monthly? No, trust me. So why should I have to pay taxes when this is a medical necessity?
we're just like dismissed. A lot of our symptoms, a lot of the things we report, especially women of color, but women across the board, are just treated a lot less equally.
I'd say that I'm an advocate for what I believe the role that men play in society. I believe that their views should be expressed openly, that they should be given a platform to do so, and I believed in men unapologetically and unashamedly being men as we were created.
Okay, yeah. Okay, that fucking dude right there was like a red pillar. The fucking Asian dude. Of the 3 MRAs, only the weird foreign sounding dude with the soul patch, I think, has like a salvageable mindset. But the beefy Asian dude, I'm pretty sure, is actually pretty fucked up. Men created as they were meant to be. What the fuck does that mean? Do we just go back to like raping people? You guys do realize that back before civilization, before we started curtailing people's behavior, you just raped a lot, right? Like, that happened all the time? Is that what he means by men being... What is men being men? I have no idea what that means, but you have to hold people to these positions, dude.
I think in my heart that there are things that men are entitled to. I am all about human rights, and I do consider the rights of every human, but every time I hear of a men's rights activist, I hear anger and I hear very illogical reasoning, and it just boils my blood because it's a setback for all of us.
Call him out. I like that too. I like that. Call him illogical, irrational, you know? Hit them with that stuff. It's not enough to just say that they're mean or like they're hateful or bigoted or whatever. Those are feminine words. I'm not joking. If you hit them with that irrational, illogical shit, that gets under their fucking skin. Nothing triggers an MRA more than a fucking black woman with giant hoop earrings looking at them and telling them they're being illogical.
I feel that the other side does not understand my values.
That's a 6-person one right there. Everyone's coming out. The problem is this woman is probably a rad lib. Oh, well, whatever. I mean, sure. I can ally with rad libs when it comes to feminist issues. I mean, I'm, tactical unity. There's no way everyone doesn't come forward. Yeah, okay, yeah.
I think a lot of times when a movement is created, the other side thinks that they're being attacked or think that it's some like attempt at erasure. That's not what feminism is about at all. What do you need a whole men's rights activism movement for? I'm sincerely confused.
Well, I mean, like, I will advocate for positive masculinity and what men should represent and healthy outlets for men. Like, I still think the Boy Scouts should be exclusively the Boy Scouts, for example, one of those things.
Wait. How does it help men for the Boy Scouts to only have boys in it? And by only allow boys, is he excluding trans boys or is he excluding girls? Because I know that there's some weird like sideline Boy Scouts group that allows girls in it. They actually have like a pretty complicated hierarchy. Yeah, the Venture Scouts. Yeah. The Venture Scouts, which are co-ed. Yeah, correct. So wait, how does it help men? This is exactly what I mean, dude. These are symbolic issues that are about ego, that have nothing to do with actually helping men. Go out to struggling men in the country. Go out to men who are suicidal. Go out to men who are homeless. Go out to men who can't get a fucking date, dude, because they have no self-confidence, because they have no idea how to reconcile the toxic, abusive upbringing they live with modern dating standards. Go out to those men and tell them, hey, dude, don't worry, bruh. I'm an MRA. I've got you. The Boy Scouts are now the Boy Scouts. You're welcome. It's like, okay. Nice. You did it. Well done. What did we accomplish?
I would like to think that we could get some common ground is when it comes to the clear biases that are in the court system, especially in the marriage and family court system, right? And right there is what I would advocate for when it comes to men's rights.
The things that stand
So that's a feminist talking point. Why are the family court systems biased against men? I wonder if it's because society expects men to be less responsible for child rearing as women. Possibly, maybe. All of these are fucking feminist talking points. Yeah, this is the same fucking guy who said that it's women's nature to nurture kids. What the fuck, dude? The fucking family court systems that award the children to the mothers first, even when the mothers are shittier than the fathers, are probably going off your fucking worldview. Women are naturally designed to nurture kids. That's what they're best at. I'm not saying women are worse than men, but we're not equal. We have different things we're interested in. Women are just better for child rearing. Oh, no. Not like that. Oh, God, I didn't mean for my bigotry to have actual social consequences. Why can't we just say that women are better for nurturing, but then not expect that bias to carry forward into our social systems? What the fuck, dude? These people are so fucking hypocritical. It makes me want to choke. Fuck, I wish I was there, dude. Oh, God, if I could hit him with that, if there was somebody there to point out that blatant hypocrisy to him, there's no way to recover. There's no rhetorical flourish that can reconcile the difference between those 2 points.
Valid, like that I'm hearing from y'all that are like valid to me, come from a place of like, I am treated like unfairly by the system. Versus a lot of the things women are saying, it's also America in the system as well, but a lot of it is like harm from men.
How and where?
How and where what?
Where's this harm from men coming from?
Okay, it started when I was young. I'm not gonna talk too long. I was 16, got a bottle thrown at me because I told a boy no. It started when I was in a club, a boy touched me, I said no, he kept touching me, it got to the point he got violent. It gets to the point that the only reason why a man decided to stop touching me in the bookstore I talked about earlier is because he realized my husband was not too far away. And he said, sorry, bro, never said sorry to me. That's why, and that's off the top of my head. This is why I get—
That's a real common one, by the way. I know that my beautiful, enlightened patricians in chat don't do this, but holy shit, I wish I could like crack open the skull and like analyze the brain meat of the dudes who will sexually assault or harass women and then apologize to the woman's boyfriend or husband. Holy shit, dude. I actually can't fathom it. They actually don't think that women are people. They actually believe women are just possessions that are traded between men. There are so many men who think like that. It's actually insane to me. I can't fathom what could lead a person to behave that way. But I guess I'm just super cool, obviously. I was just born feminist, 148,672,342,722. Feminism's fucked.
Get upset because I'm here to talk about like how you feel, but when you just dismiss the fact that women actually have experiences, that's when it seems like it's about more than your rights. It seems like it's about your ego. And that's where I get pissed off, because how dare you tell another human being that their experiences, what they're telling you right in front of your face, is not valid.
I didn't say they were invalid. I said how and why. I'm trying to understand.
How and why? Because it happened. It happened many times. It happened yesterday. It happened the day before.
Okay, I think some of the things that you guys are touching.
I do think as much as she went off there, she could have calmed it down a little bit at the end too, because he did just ask how and why. I know he did so in a leading way to imply that he didn't believe her claims, but she could have called off a little bit there. Got to moderate the tude, but otherwise that was excellent.
On, such as the court system and gender roles, are a subject of patriarchy, and that's part of what women are trying to dismantle, is those traditional—
Not women, feminists. That bugs me.
Gender roles.
Are there any feminist organizations that have done anything, for example, to challenge bias against men and fathers in the family court system?
Absolutely.
Can you please give me a list of feminist advocacy organizations that have engaged in any meaningful advocacy to address those issues? Because there are actually none.
Okay, I know that you—
Lamau Vosh promoting civility politics? My whole channel is dedicated to rhetoric. You realize that, right? You want to promote arguments in the way that is most likely to resonate with an audience. I'm sorry, but do you, whether or not you fucking like it, black ladies, if they get angry, are often chided or shouted down because they're just crazy black ladies. Avoiding that stereotype and playing to a calm, cool, disconnected, rational perspective on this issue is an excellent rhetorical device. I'm sorry that you guys just want to fucking off and never want to listen to any optics because it's ruining your vibe right before you go back home and reflect on how you've accomplished nothing in your life. But actually reflecting on optics is sometimes incredibly fucking important when it comes to getting messages across.
Came with your little research or whatever. I didn't come with a list of feminist organizations, but I know actively that there are women's organizations that are trying to dismantle those inequalities.
9 times out of 10 they have a reason to be angry, Vosh. That's fucking irrelevant whether or not you have a reason to be angry. I'm not telling you that you don't have a reason to be angry. I'm telling you that it is rhetorically superior to not come off that angry. What the fuck are you talking? Oh god, let's just throw our fucking hands in the air. Shit optics for everyone. It doesn't matter. Well, life is hell, world is a fuck. We can say whatever we want now. Who gives a fuck if we actually change people's minds or make the world a better place? As long as we have a fraction of an excuse for being angry and yelling at people, we can go ahead and do it. Easy fucking peasy. No fucking thing to worry about. Hey, as long as we feel morally justified. I'm not even fucking angry at the lady on screen. I think she spoke perfectly fine. Maybe just small pointers, just trying to give my advice. But you guys who respond to me by telling me that I'm fucking being weird by indicating that there are better ways to present a position, that's fucking weird to me. You can do better. I believe in you. I believe in you. You can do better, okay? I'm praying for your soul. I bless you, okay? I bless you, and I pray for your soul.
One name, just one
Again, I
organization.
didn't come with a list, my dude.
There are no such organizations.
No, by the way, want to point out really quickly, this dude's position, this fucking cunt right here, is fucking bullshit. They're arguing ideology, and then he demands a list of organizations that have helped men, like feminist organizations that have helped men. I couldn't provide a list like that if I wanted to, because I don't have random fucking orgs like memorized in my head. But even if she had just made shit up, he would have had no choice but to go along with it, because he can't fact check her right now. So it's a bullshit point. It's a way of dismissing the larger argument. If they actually wanted to focus on what they were discussing, they should have stuck to the ideology of the participants rather than asking for organizations that backed up those. There are feminist organizations that do a poor job for men, usually because those feminist organizations are second wave feminist. They're not intersectional. They're not third wave feminist. Second wave feminism was not that good. Like, it really wasn't. It stood mostly for the liberation of wealthy white women. And really not much beyond that. You had sexual liberation, you got some more women into office. But it didn't really give a fuck about men. It certainly didn't give a fuck about trans women. It didn't do much for black women. Third wave, it's bourgeois feminism. Third wave feminism, intersectional feminism, is what most feminists currently subscribe to. But the problem is that institutions like, say, orgs and charities and nonprofits, these things take quite a lot of money to start up, and they tend to take some time to get going too. Meaning that a lot of organizations that call themselves feminist currently are second wave feminist organizations, not modern third wave feminist organizations. And for that reason, when arguing the abilities and positions of institutions rather than the ideology of feminism, usually feminists are kind of on the back foot a little bit there. But that's okay. This is a discussion of ideology. After all, how do you think it would have looked if she had turned around and asked the men how many men's rights organizations have helped men? Like, list me these orgs. Like, how many men's rights organizations are out there advocating for this sort of stuff that have actually materially helped men? If there are any such ones that exist, I have never heard of them. Usually when men's rights dudes like set up together and like start fundraising for something, isn't it the case that usually like one of their leaders just takes the money and runs? Isn't intersectional feminism fourth wave feminism? No. I keep hearing people talking about fourth wave feminism. I say it's fake. Not real. Not true. Untrue.
Just one name, just one
Again, I
organization.
didn't come with a list, my dude.
There are no such organizations.
Fake news.
In what ways are men's rights at risk?
I think there has been significant progress over the last decade or so, especially in the legal field. But I think there are still significant disparities that need to be addressed, such as poor health conditions, bias against men in the criminal justice system.
Poor health conditions. What do we mean by poor health conditions? Guys, I don't know this talking point. What poor health conditions affect men that don't affect women? And in regards to bias in the criminal justice system, well, that's obviously another component of patriarchy, right? If men are discriminated against in the criminal justice system, it might be because fucking muscular Asian fuckwits are out here talking about how women are naturally nurturing and shouldn't be considered a threat. work shit like black lung, he's probably talking about male suicide. That's a really weird way of phrasing. Male suicide is health conditions? I don't know what that means exactly. I can't speak to that point because I don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
Bias against men in family courts.
We've already gone over that.
And bias against men in the educational system, especially.
There's no bias. I've been waiting for this talking point because this is really fucking funny to me, dude. For literal decades, for ages, women did worse in education than men did. And every time this was discussed, every single time this was discussed, it was because women are stupid. It was because women are just not as good. They're just bad. They can't handle maths. They can't handle any of our fucking high-tier masculine logic. And now, for the first time in American history, women are slightly outperforming men in school and in college. And all the men lose their fucking mind. Like, okay, dude, I see how the game is for you. I see how maybe you're just kind of stupid, I don't think that's the case, but that's the logic we've been going by for quite a long time. Love, by the way, I like how earlier they were arguing against affirmative action. And every time I hear MRAs bring up this men doing worse in schools thing, they advocate for affirmative action for men to compensate for women's advantage. I love it. So affirmative action when it helps women or trans people or black people or any other group, that's compensating for their inherent deficiencies. They should be able to succeed in the free market if they're actually worthy of those positions. As soon as men do just slightly worse on average in school, holy shit, we gotta fucking do something. This is unacceptable. Like, every time, dude.
Especially in colleges.
Men and women should be allies.
Oh boy. Okay, I thought Incel Andy was going to stay back there.
Men,
I was ready.
Unfortunately, many of them don't want to even have this open dialogue that we're sharing right now. We need men to help be allies, to help speak to other men.
It strikes me like the way you phrase this, you almost want men to say certain things that you want them to say, as opposed to maybe actually listening to what they're saying.
What certain things would I want to
just
hear?
kind of like men being allies, men talking to other men, etc. I'm completely okay with that, but I'm not going to repeat like feminist talking points to other men.
We all believe different things. We may be under the label of men's rights activists, but for example, I'm probably the most traditionalist person here.
Traditionalist. Dude's a fucking Nazi. Oh, I love seeing these. I love seeing actual neo-Nazis being brought up to public terms. Mr. Medicare fan, Nick Fuentes fan, fucking black-pilled Nazi, traditionalist. That's the term they use. You could put it in fucking echo signs if you want. It's a dog whistle.
Be allies, but maybe us being allies in a patriarchy wouldn't be so bad. Us going back to the past wouldn't be so bad. It would probably be a lot happier if we were, getting married and staying married and having kids and, going to church and all that la-di-da-di-da.
While speaking the three.
Damn. That's a hard sell right there. Damn, what if we fixed the problems of today by just going back and instituting a hierarchy where women are legally oppressed and it's not even illegal to rape them if you're their husbands? What if we just went back to that earlier time period that didn't actually exist, that are made up in the minds of modern American conservatives? Hey guys, do you want to hear something cool? You know how when everyone thinks of the 1950s, they think of like the husband and the housewife together with the white picket fence and the 2.6 children and the dog and stuff? Did you know that that was only the case for an incredibly small, incredibly privileged subsection of America? Did you know that the vast majority of America was continuing the same basic sustenance wage slave living that we've seen sort of continued into today? That many, many women worked before and after the Rosie the Riveter shit, before the war began and after the war ended? That in many cases, particularly in, I know this is probably a big one for fucking Aryan Menace Andy over here, non-white neighborhoods, that mythology is bullshit. Not to mention, those people were miserable. Have you ever fucking read Death of a Salesman? Like, the idea that people back then were all living this idyllic traditionalist life is ridiculous. there was plenty of fucking depression. There was plenty of suicide and alcoholism. There was plenty of drug abuse. That shit happened all the time back then. This isn't just a product of some fanciful Death of a Salesman, English lit reading or whatever. You can go back. The stats that existed back then paint a picture that is, well, not quite as bad as things are today, still quite fucking bad. And you can make an argument that the elements of modernity that have led to a higher degree of depression and suicide in modern society would continue even if we reinstated the gender roles we saw back then. This is another pathetic attempt at sexless young men who can't handle their insecurities, trying to force society to give them a girlfriend. It's every bit as pathetic and transparent as them advocating for like a government provided girlfriend, He's just going about it in a more traditionalist way. The hip Yang Gang traditionalist state-appointed girlfriend advocates will talk about them just showing up at your door, maybe cyber augmented. But the traditionalist fucking fake sell Andes over here approach is much simpler. What if we just went back and women didn't have a fucking choice and couldn't live life on their own without being called a spinster and left to rot as a cat lady with a fucking $16,000 a year income? Same basic premise, same basic consequence.
I feel like you're each coming from different perspectives. So it's hard to, again, just like our perspectives, it's hard to generalize. So to me, I feel like there are certain things that, even though we're not fully agreeing on it, things may get lost in translation, our verbiage may not be 100% correct, that we could at least agree on.
Can I ask one question? What would you envision would be the ideal man with the end goal of feminism as far as educating men or working to dismantle whatever patriarchy is? Like, what does that man look like?
It starts with childhood. We have to teach children as well as girls, because we're also taught because...
So you have to be super careful with this, because the question is already loaded. What's the perfect man? The implication being, how are feminists going to mold men in this new world order? Which isn't actually what would be happening. The perfect answer to this is saying, I would want everyone, men, women, everyone, to be raised in a way that allows them to live comfortably, freely, and happily in a society, to engage with one another fairly and happily, to live life in a way that is comfortable, that affords them the opportunities to express themselves however they like, so long as they don't hurt other folks or perpetuate any systemic oppression. If that answer, and it focuses on men and women, it's very neutral, it's not like about limiting men or curtailing men, I think that's like the perfect response.
Of toxic masculinity, what a man should be as well.
I think that we just need to hold men accountable. In order to kind of make progress, we need help from people that will listen, because let's be real, when we express our concerns, a lot of men refuse to listen, but they would be more likely to listen to another man.
Do you also feel like you have an ethical obligation to challenge other women or other feminists when, for example, they deny that men face discrimination?
When it comes to things like, men can't be abused. I've had this conversation with another woman, and it's the idea that just because a man may be physically stronger than us does not mean they cannot be abused. And because of that, again, fairness.
This perfect response right here. Perfect fucking response right here. Classic example of a way in which toxic masculinity hurts expectations towards men and how feminists address it.
So women need to be held accountable as well. I want to understand their viewpoint. As a woman and a woman of color, I know how it feels to be disenfranchised. So I want to understand why they feel the need to have a men's rights movement.
I feel empathy for the other side.
Oh, wait. Any guesses? Wait. Okay, is Andy? Is B-Suit Andy over here gonna go? Is fucking discount alt universe Spider-Man gonna come over? Okay, he came over. No, he did it.
I don't think there's ever a time in my life where a person says they're hurting and I don't at least try to listen or understand. My only thing is that I want the same in return. So when I'm genuinely saying I'm hurting or I've been through something, and it's not just a personal experience, because I actively do this work and surround myself with women saying I've been hurt by a man before. I get that you have stories, but I mean, that's actually my question. I haven't heard y'all stories. Like, I've sat up here and said I have 3 on the top of my head. I have about 30 plus probably. And I haven't heard y'all say, this is what happened to me.
I don't think that I'll ever invalidate a woman's feelings when she says, hey, I've been abused or whatnot. I don't think any of us here are rightfully saying that. But I think what's dangerous...
Careful, the dude to your right literally said that the way in which he wants to help men is by taking away women's rights and going back to a patriarchy. So maybe not associate too hard with that guy.
Dangerous is when emotional testimony that may not always be what it is gets, creates bias, right?
Okay, I feel empathy for women being lost, being misguided.
Yeah, my dude. Yeah, hit it up.
I don't know. You can go.
God, he can't even make his points. He comes off so fucking unhinged. Women are lost. Have you seen me? I've never had sex. They're doing something wrong, that's for sure. God, okay, listen, I'm really trying. We're no ableistorino here, okay? We're not doing the ableism today. What we are doing, though, is pointing out that, like, every single time I find one of these traditionalist Andes out here, any of these losers who are sexless and the only way they think they'll ever get a girlfriend is by returning to a state where women have no fucking choice in the matter, to returning to a patriarchal fucking andro state or whatever, they always come off so fucking unhinged to me. He even looks like a fucking supervillain. Can you not imagine him like in a comic book or something with the oversized yellow jacket? He's like Syndrome. Whatever Syndrome's name was, the real name for Syndrome. Don't incel shame? No. Not because he's an incel. Because his response to being an incel is a return to a fucking patriarchy. Yeah, like Buddy. Yeah, he's like Buddy, Syndrome. Yeah. Like he's like, femoids, they're lost. They're not even having sex with me. Like someone shoves him into a gutter or something and he comes out and there's like wet hairs in front of his face. It's like dripping down. There's mud. And they'll pay. I don't know, dude. Don't Nazi shame. My bad. No Nazi shaming in this channel.
Do you have any bit of empathy for anything we said up here?
Yes, I really do feel empathy for
Why was that so hard to say? Like for the stuff that we said, do you have any bit of empathy for the stories I said up here?
Yeah,
I just want to know.
I do.
Like I'm not even trying to be hostile. I just genuinely want to know.
Yeah, I just think that like a lot of the problems that have happened in your life are because society is not patriarchal. It's not traditional. It's we're gone. We're lost. We're in a fallen state.
My dude's been memed poisoned. He's been meme poisoned.
State, right?
There is a change of guard, not necessarily a change of guard, but things are evolving, things are changing. And I feel
Remember the John Doyle intro where John Doyle LARPs is like a 1950s dude and he has the hat and the suit and stuff? Imagine like that intro, except instead of John Doyle, it's this guy with his ratty hair and his oversized jacket, and he takes the place of John Doyle. And that's what he wants, essentially. Yeah, he's been on JLP's show, which I'm sure was just a... Oh, God, there's no way JLP didn't call him a beta, right? Brendio E gets called out. Wait. He looks more like a Mexican now. Oh, people are agreeing with him. Of course they agree with him. They also want to return to traditionalism. They better have called him a fucking beta, dude. Can somebody tell me what's more beta than not being able to get a girl and wanting to fundamentally restructure society and take away the rights of hundreds of millions of people just so you can have a girl? I don't know.
I feel like a lot of men speak from a viewpoint almost of fear. A lot of men are having a hard time grasping that and feeling comfortable with it.
I do feel empathy for your personal experience, but I cannot sympathize with your ideological position because that ideological position is built on a fallacy, and that fallacy is actually costing, causing very real consequences.
A fallacy? What the fuck do you mean fallacy? What fallacy? What fundamentally irrational means of making an argument have they used to present their ideological position? He looks like the type too. He's got like the beard right here on the underside of the chin. My main problem with feminism is that it's fallacious.
For men as a class in this country. So I understand that you are here with us as kind of the good feminist, so to speak, that you feel empathy for men, and I believe you, but I do not believe your movement, and I do not believe your ideology.
All right, we'll leave it at that. That's a wrap, guys.
Are they gonna like avoid shaking hands or? Oh yeah, they're.
Okay.
You are very articulate.
Oh, thank
And so are you.
Yes,
Thank
you.
Oh, she went in for the handshake with Incel Andy. She did it too.
That
We
was
didn't miss it. We don't know if the third woman gave the Incel Andy handshake.
interesting.
John, what do you think it means to disagree thoughtfully?
I don't care. God, dude, that was so fucking dumb. MRAs are like the easiest fucking targets in the world too. Holy shit. They're like I don't talk about this stuff that often because like it feels like I'm beating a dead horse or whatever, but god damn, dude. MRAs are like the easiest. Yeah, where are the comments leaning? Oh, here we go. Male here, we don't claim Derek is one of us. 16,000 likes. Okay, that's nice. Hey, you know, considering the fact that the Vice videos on like black conservatives were filled with like race realism shit, I think, if I remember correctly, down at the bottom, it's nice to see that our top comment over here is disavowing. Can't imagine why Derek can't get a woman. It's confusing. Incel activist, making fun of the yellow jacket. There's 3 groups in this discussion: men's rights, feminists, and Derek. Derek just looking like the generic American gamer in movies. Ah, yeah. Derek, the one kid who reveals Santa isn't real in the 2nd grade. Okay, you know what? Fine. Yeah, I'm only human. If we can make fun of Derek, if that's what's on the docket today, if that's what we're doing, you know, if that's what we're sizzling up, I'm fine with it. You know, that's cool. All right, I'll flip that pancake. Hey, folks, I'm going to read donos. And you know what? Honestly, hey, folks, I had so much fun with that. I think we should do another Jubilee. Do you guys want to do another Jubilee? I could find another good one. Oh, he did a full segment with them. I'm an incel. Ask me anything. I don't think we should double up on Derek. I feel like that might be bullying. You guys spam links like motherfuckers. What are we looking at here? Hold on. Idiot has no idea what he's talking about. Posts cringe. No, this isn't ironic.
Vosh, if someone offered you $10,000 to poop on them, would you do it?
$10,000 is a lot of money.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be really uneconomical of me to say no, wouldn't it? Wait, this has 35 comments? Okay, this isn't what capitalism is, you morons. Okay. Yes, it is. Voluntary transactions. Wait a second. This guy actually think that all types of voluntary transactions are capitalism? If you bartered in a fucking tribe back in 8000 BC, is that capitalism? Did you even go to school? Irrelevant. Whether I did or not doesn't change the fact that it's capitalism. You need to go to school. I don't need school to know what words mean. Do you? That says a lot. It's still capitalism, though. You sound like a true ignoramus who never went to school. That's still irrelevant since it's still capitalism, no matter how much you scream and cry. I've said this before, but my time on the internet has reminded me how many mentally unwell people there are out there. If he's willing to shit on people for money, then his asshole is the means of production. True! That's true. That's true. It's actually crazy how many like mentally off people there are out there. I'm not trying to be mean or anything. I'm just saying, like, when I go online, I see like YouTube comments or forum posts or whatever. I recently saw this. Okay, sometimes look, I've got my phone, Hip Studio, fucking look here, YouTube Studio. Look, see, anything private here? No, look, see, it's Wow, that is just, wow, this camera is just not going to pick up on this, is it? Well, it's YouTube Studio. I can see shit on it, you know, like metrics and stuff. And I can see most recent comments. And one comment that I got in all caps yesterday was from someone called the Blue Sentinel. And they were saying in all caps, very, very, very loud, they were saying, I'm going to laugh my ass off if I wake up and see these comments deleted. Okay. I don't know what that's all about. So I go through recent comments, and he's been spam posting. Why won't you debate me, Vosh? Huh? Huh? Too scared that your little socialism is going to get its ass blown out by my logic? You have failed to address all of the points that I have made underneath your video. And it was really long, and there were many of them. And like, and like, it just it makes me worry for the people out there. Like, it makes me worry for the people of this fine planet, you know? All right, what are we talking? Here we go. Children's trans clinic hit by 35 resignations in 3 years. A psychologist warned of gender dysphoria over diagnoses. Transgender clinic has been hit by 35 resignations in 3 years. Psychologists warn of overdiagnoses of gender dysphoria amongst children. The whistleblower said too many children were being put on puberty-blocking drugs when they should not have been given the diagnosis. Former staff said they were unable to properly assess patients over fears they will be branded transphobic. Concerns raised, 6 psychologists resigned from Chandel's services in the past 6 years. This is from the Telegraph. Far right. Looks legit. I will say this, though. I don't know how the reporting here has gone. In all likelihood, given the hysteria around trans people and transgender clinics and gender dysphoria and all that stuff, in likelihood, the kerfuffle around all of this means that those media, that article lies its ass off or severely misinterprets the events. However, and I will be clear on this, it is everyone shut the fuck up and listen. It is totally possible that there are children's transgender clinics that are overprescribing puberty blockers because of ideological bias on the part of the people who work there. Ideological bias in medicine is a thing that exists. The left does it too. We would come off as delusional if we didn't recognize the fact that that's possible. If it turns out to be the case, I can't assess the validity of that source specifically. If that turns out to be the case, then we need to say, hey, listen up. Trans people are valid, whatever. Trans kids are trans kids. They should get the treatment they need. However, we need to be careful and scrupulous with our diagnoses of gender dysphoria. Because if we don't, not only do we harm those children, well, in the case of assigning gender blocking medication, we don't really like harm them that much. There's a risk of lessened bone density, but like we're not like ruining their lives or anything. But in the case of these children, not only are we harming them, but we honestly make ourselves look horrible, like in the media. We make ourselves look terrible. So we should be careful. That's my position on this. I can't verify the validity of that source specifically, but we should recognize that there is a capacity for overdiagnosis pertaining to ideological biases on the part of those prescribing those diagnoses. We should keep that in mind. Overprescribing is a problem across all the pharmaceutical industries, absolutely. But we should still treat this as a problem. It is a problem. We should look at it as such. Anyway. We're going to go over donos, and then we're going to do another one of them goddamn videos, okay? The Seductive Draft with a 20 kronar. How's my name, yo? Your channel saved my health. The Seductive Draft is a pretty good, albeit absurdist name. I'm glad to hear my channel has done well for you, comrade. Anthony Fernandez with the $2. Hope North Korea takes over the USA. I don't, but I understand your fervor. Jack Attack LP with the $2. Derek looks like the living embodiment of a roofie. Yeah, it kind of does, doesn't he? King C1285 with the $5. Thank you. Here's another $5 for the D&D episodes on a YouTube playlist fund. Also, Pee Pee Poo Poo Weird Champ. True. I promise I'll get around to it, comrade. I promise I will. Another Ancom, you should email it to me. I can't really go over it right now. voshvideo@gmail.com. Dracoris Velving with the $5. Holy fuck, 1885 viewers. Nice. Well, yeah, we're even above that now. Usually, if I'm doing like interesting content, the viewers stay above 2,000 with very, very interesting stuff like PewDiePie being in the 3K. There's a lot of variability there, you know? Icon Behemoth with the $5. The incel was supposed to debate Destiny and chickened out. Really? Oh, shit, dude. Ah, that's fucking sad. If only. Oh, that would have been a debate for the fucking ages. Asterix Alex with the $5. Men really are conditioned to bottle up their emotions and are afraid to be ourselves for fear of queer shaming, but toxic masculinity doesn't exist. Have you considered pee pee poo poo? I have not considered pee pee poo poo, but I will consider it in the future and add it to my calculations. Thank you, comrade. Dredge with the $2. Could you summarize your pro-gun arguments against anti-gun libs? Dredge, I would, but I've already answered that question from you quite a while ago. If you go back earlier in the VOD to the first time that I went over donations, you'll find that I responded to that question in detail. Mixbach with the $1. Something tells me all 3 of the men's rights activists are virgins. I don't know, dude. That Asian guy was pretty fucking handsome, IMO, in my opinion. And Asterism Alex again with the $5. Asian Andy. Men need to repress our feminine sides and perform masculinity, and that's harmful. Also Asian Andy. Performative masculinity is good, actually. Yeah, finding hypocrisy in the positions of MRAs arguing with feminists isn't always the toughest thing, but I'm glad they make it easy for us. Boy with the $2. Femoidicide for the memes. True. Professor Studs with the tier 1 sub. Thank you. Finally broke down and subbed. Enjoy my tri-monthly Vosh bucks. I am a Vosh buckler now. Also, I made you a meme. Trans rights, the Kurtamore didn't happen, and all that jazz. Just so you guys know, the Andy meme is from Twitch TV. I don't even fully remember its origins. I think it's from Ice Poseidon, who I guess is now on YouTube, so you have that. But absolutely, Andy memes are quality praxis, okay? Or Shovel with the tier 1 sub. Thank you. Made some big bucks this week and wanted to share the love. Thanks for everything you do. My pleasure, comrade, and I'm glad things have been going well for you. Rede with the $10. Thank you. These babongos being dismissive, derisive, and need to shower. Almost makes me ashamed of being a man because these people are such bad advocates for positive change. And rant Never be ashamed of being a man, comrade. At the end of the day, you're only responsible for yourself and your own behavior. I am delighted to hear, however, that you are so passionate about improving the general state of ideology amongst men. Thank you, comrade. I really appreciate it. Falky with the 5 Rons. I have no idea what type of currency that is, but I'm delighted to have 5 more of them. Thank you. And Neon Noir with the €10. Those MRAs suck. Talk to a jihadist to see the actual radical version. Yeah, that's what we need. We need like 2 ISIS fighters and Derek there to argue for men's rights. I think there would be a lot more ideological synchronicity in such a position. Rand is from South Africa? Oh, that explains it. Nicholas Pogson with the $2. My depressive episode is over, so have some money. I'm getting out of mine too. Thank you. I'm glad things are picking up for both of us. And Grandmaster Level with the $10. Thank you very kindly. Feminism is cancer. I'm new and I don't know your views on cannabis. Do you smoke it? What is your position? Thanks. Well, I do like feminism. I will say that. But I'm fine with weed. I think drugs should all be decriminalized or legalized or whichever one is the right one. Because I always forget. But yeah, I smoke weed occasionally. I try not to that much, though. Don't want to be too lazy. Yeah, I plan on going over that creator phase. How's my mental health been doing? Slightly better. Mantis Toboggan with the $2. Thank you. I'm poor, but take my Google rewards money. Thank you. I really appreciate it. And Sake Tanuki with the $5. Reminder, this article is from the same fucknugget Britbongers who gave Boris Heidenfridge Johnson a 60 majority. I don't know what a 60 majority is. Do you mean in terms of like polling or in terms of the demographics of those who consume that media? Whatever the case may be, I've heard of Telegraph being pretty far right-leaning in the past, so it's not too hard for me to dismiss whatever fucking editorials they put out there. Aurora with the $1. If we simply rebrand feminism by presenting their egalitarian tenets, then almost every anti-feminist will fundamentally agree. We should all do that online. That's what I do. I very rarely call myself a feminist. I usually say I'm like a leftist or a progressive or whatever. But if I'm asked directly if I'm a feminist, I will say yes. I don't want to hide from the ideology. You know? We're almost done with the donos. Eljes, the tier 1 sub, thank you. Finally turned 18. I can spend my money on the things that matter, like giving it to you, dummy. Happy 18th birthday, whenever it may have taken place. Delighted to be the recipient of your subscription fees. And Illumilani with the $6.69. Here you go. Here I go. Thank you. My name, Jesp, with the $5. Thank you. Are you going to debate Vegan Gains again soon? His latest video on intersectionality is filled with idpol nonsense and reactionary cringe. I think I gave the best possible perspective on intersectionality that I could have when I talked with Vegan Gains. I really feel like I presented it as well as I possibly could. I'm glad to hear that, Wooly. Yeah, moving north in the season does definitely affect it. If like I go forward to Vegan Gains, like let's be real, like Vegan Gains is pretty far right leaning, not economically but socially speaking. I think his views are a little more incoherent in that respect. So I mean, I did the best I could with that, but I don't think he's up for like a full debate, more of like a discussion, which I think we covered all the basic tenets of in our first convo. Half a personality, a quarter of a brain with the $2. I like your videos, so I'll throw in some money. That's good logic. I like it. Thank you. We both benefit. Kind of. Araxia with the $5. Last month in Germany, a policewoman conspired with another female cop to murder her husband, who was also a cop, with a drug overdose, because he planned on divorcing her and would have gotten the kids. Well, that sucks. I don't know what to say about that. That's unfortunate. I guess one less cop. Generally prefer it when people don't die in their sleep, though. Ninetails Cosmic Fox with the $10. Thank you. Hey Vosh, did you see Destiny do the Joe Rogan dance with transphobic fearmongering regarding trans women at sports? Very yikes, much facepalm. Wow. All right, Ninetails, I'm actually going to disagree with you on that one. I did see that video. I don't think that Destiny was behaving poorly. I've said on stream before that I also have a position of agnosticism towards trans women in sports at this point in time. There are certain biological advantages that that having experienced a puberty in an androgen-sensitive environment are going to afford those assigned male at birth that that those assigned female at birth will simply never experience. Now, that doesn't mean there shouldn't be trans women in sports. That means that it is admittedly a difficult issue that is probably pretty like hard to parse out with reactionary groups, because they're going to latch on to any difference they can perceive and use it as an excuse to invalidate the womanhood of trans people, which is obviously not what should be done. I don't think that Destiny even came close to invalidating their womanhood, and I don't think he was doing fear-mongering either. I think he was just arguing against I'd like to talk to you about this issue. I've talked to so many. I promise you that I am as educated on this issue as one could reasonably be in this respect. Oh, yeah, Destiny agrees that sports probably should not be divided by sex and gender, but that's obviously not a realistic answer to the question right now. Why'd you say Rationality Rules was transphobic? His views are about the same as yours? No, I watched the video. They're not. They're definitely not. This is the problem. Anytime you say like any ambiguity on this perspective, all the people who don't think trans women are women will step up and try to like insert themselves into the conversation. I did hear that in another Rancom. What about cis women with naturally high testosterone levels? Okay, this is a really complicated subject. We don't need to get all the way into this right now. Don't worry about it, guys, okay? Hogan39, if you keep spamming, I'm going to ban you. All right, let me go over the remaining donations. Hold on. The Internet Dog with the $2. I'm so sad. I'm sorry to hear that. What theory of gender do you follow? I don't know what you mean. Like, what specific theory? I've been out of school for a while, comrade. I don't know. I'm a gender abolitionist. Didn't Rationality Rules make a new video apologizing? Yes, I haven't talked about him in like 4 months. Tane with the tier 1 sub, thank you. I see people saying things like we need to organize, but when I research it, I usually get union stuff. I wish there was more info on leftist community organizing. Stuff like worker co-ops and unions seem good. Can you recommend related web sources? Unfortunately, I cannot. I do not have a list of web sources available to me that would provide you resources on that. The only person I can think of who might be better in that respect might be Radical Reviewer on YouTube. Though even then, I'm not entirely sure. I don't know if he does much like on-the-ground praxis stuff. Zethian with the $10. Thank you. Hey, Vosh, tell me to move my fat ass to the gym. Do you have any advice on how to stay motivated about workout? Well, I haven't gone to the gym in a little while, unfortunately, but the best way that you can stay motivated to work out is to make sure that you have some good podcasts loaded, or make sure that you're going with a person you like, you know? Make sure you're going with a buddy. That's the best way to do it, no denying. One way or another, comrade. I hope you're able to work it out. At the end of the day, individual willpower is the only thing that truly works. Sake Tanuki with the $5. Tulsi, Jocko, Rogan win. I need catharsis and the smackdown the Toll Cells deserve. Also, Jocko is worth a watch just for the lulz. Yeah, I need to get to that, definitely. That's definitely going to be soon. I've got to catch up on content. Caleb Roma with the $5. Not sure if you remember, but I was the guy with the long series of misfortunes, like a hit and run and break-in, among others, each 2 weeks apart. All fixed now, but still depressed. Any tips? Nothing much to do, but manage your time. Make sure to get good food, good sleep, good sunlight, and exercise from time to time. If the problems are fixed, then you're dealing with a chemical matter, and you should probably work towards optimizing your life in such a way to ensure that you're getting the chemicals that you need to not feel like dog shit. That's probably your best bet. I hope you're able to do that, comrade. Stuff is tough out there, and I love you, but not personally. And last but not least, Mexiball Nation with the $5. Yesterday you startled me when you started and I fell off into lava, losing 20 diamonds and all of my shit That really happened. I'm so sorry to hear that. I doubt any of the donos I made that stream compensated for the 20 diamonds that you lost. I hope you're able to get them again soon. Yes? Oh, apparently something's happening. I was going to go pee before we do the other video anyway. So hold on, I guess. Fucking lunatic cat, dude. Holy shit. Artemy jumped up on top of the fucking kitchen counter and then jumped up on top of one of the really tall shelves. That was fucking above everything else. I was just barely able to get him down. Jesus. Fucking crazy ass stupid piece of shit. Lunatic fucking baby. Hold on.
Hey guys, welcome back to Middle Ground.
Oh no, we can't do that one. Oh no. Aurora, we can't do that one. We can't do the fucking flat earth versus science one. Fuck that, dude. I'm not listening to flat earthers talk right now. Fabian Corsair, I can't do anything that will deal with I can't do anything that will appeal to apathy voters because I do political content online. I'm already selected out. If you're an apathetic voter, you're probably not looking at political videos. There's nothing I can do. Other people have to. Hold on. Oh my god. Oh my god. Jubilee puts out a lot of videos. Holy shit, how have I not found this channel before? 6 straight women versus 1 secret lesbian? Wait, it's not even all political debate stuff. It's just...
I'm like 85% straight. I feel I am straight.
Are we like...
There's nothing.
Is...
The girl next to me, Gabby, kind of winked at me and did like a, hey, follow, do what I do. And I'm like, her? Okay, cool.
Okay, Godspeed. I already have a guess from those 6, but I'm not going to tell you. Do they have a playlist for their debates or stuff? So far, I have to say, I actually like their little debate thing way more than I like Vice's. Because Vice will actually moderate the conversations on screen, and they'll ask like leading questions. You know what I mean? Middle Ground Season 6.
What's up, good humans? We love collaborating with you on prompts for Middle Ground, so find out how to collaborate with us.
Shut up. Are Americans obsessed with race and gender? Do you feel American? Immigrant parents versus first generation. Do good grades matter? Is marriage necessary? Flat earthers versus science. Ivy League versus community college. Okay, none of these... I want to find another one of these. Dude, they put out so much shit. What the fuck? Here we go.
Hey guys, this episode idea...
Shut up. Traditional versus trans. Are there more than 2 genders? Being trans doesn't mean you're outside of the gender binary. Should you watch porn? Can Democrats and Republicans see eye to eye? Millionaires versus minimum wage. Did you earn your money? Should we cancel celebrities for their crimes? Can teens and parents understand each other? Pro-life versus pro-choice. Climate change activists versus skeptics. Can they see eye to eye? Can high school teachers and students see eye to eye? Man, they really just throw any 2 groups that disagree. It doesn't even need... hey, whoever earlier wanted, like, resources on how to organize, apparently Turtle Winged in chat is your man. Should you watch porn? I'm doing it. We're doing the porn review, baby. We're doing it, baby. Get in here. Everyone get in. Strap up. Buckle in. Hold on. I'm ready. Porn gang, let's go. Coomer Squad. Let's roll.
This episode is inspired by your comments on a previous Middle Ground.
Make sure you stick around to the end because we want to tell you about how you can be even more involved.
Enjoy the episode.
Because people are anti-sex. That's why we're having the...
No, I am pro-sex.
Me too.
I am not ashamed.
Wait, is that... That's Buck Angel. Oh, no. This is Buck Angel before Buck Angel got ContraPoints canceled. Damn. What a blast from the past.
If you're pro-sex, you're pro-pornography.
That's by your definition.
Well, that's exactly right. That's why we're gonna agree to disagree.
Hope they wash the bar stools after this one. Oh yeah, guys, sorry. Hey, sorry for platforming Buck Angel. It's going to be for more than 13 seconds in this video. It's probably going to be for a lot longer, and also his face will be there, and also he'll actually be talking about his political views, I think. Sorry.
Wait, can I say something?
Yes?
Can I say something about Buck?
If you say it louder.
Okay, so some people know that I met Buck. I met Buck a couple years ago when he came and presented at my school for my work. It was fine. He was really nice. But when he came, he did a presentation for us, and that was fine and all until he started showing us the porn that he shot. Like, he just started showing us porn. He did not tell my boss about this. He did not tell anyone about this. There were children in the audience, and he afterwards was like, "Oh, well, this just kind of how I do things to get past the censors. Our program could have been defunded." So I want to say that Buck's gonna be really pro porn, but I just want y'all to know that he doesn't go about it in the best ways. So yeah.
The Femoid has spoken. All true, by the way. Yeah, pro porn, Pepe.
Hi, I'm Buck, and I'm a human rights activist and pro-porn.
Hi, I'm Abigail, and I'm an aspiring physician, and I'm pro-porn.
Hi, I'm Riley. I'm an adult performer, and I'm pro-porn.
Hi, my name is JK. I am a porn addiction recovery coach, and I'm passionate about helping men who struggle with compulsive sexual behaviors.
Oh no, I thought they would just have a conservative here or something. Hey, I'm pro porn. Hey, I've worked with hundreds of men whose lives have been ruined by the addiction you peddle. Oh no.
Hi, my name is Maria. I run a youth organization, and we educate on this issue.
My name is Nicole. I'm 21 years old. I'm headed to law school next year. I have been a first-hand witness of the devastating effects porn can have in personal relationships.
Okay, wait. I gotta make my views clear from the beginning, okay? We gotta make sure, okay? Listen, everyone step the fuck up, alright? I'm totally fine with sexuality, sex, porn, sex work, all of that stuff. However, I think that anything in life is capable of being addictive. I mean, anything that I can think of at least. And if you are demonstrating symptoms of addiction towards something in a way that is harming your life, making it more difficult for you to form relationships, making it more difficult for you to be happy, making it more difficult for you to maintain appointments or show up on time to work, if that is the case, then that is an addiction and it should be treated as such. Okay? I believe it is possible to consume and relate to pornography in a healthy way, however, so I'm not categorically against it. I think that most people engage with pornography in an acceptably healthy sense. However, I do want to point this out. Modern porn is fucking disgusting, dude. Live action porn, it is deeply, pardon my fucking lib shit, deeply misogynistic, deeply fucking racist, deeply fucking problematic, deeply fucking exploitative, deeply fucking drug infested, deeply fucking rapey. The porn industry as it exists today is really fucking bad, and it reinforces a lot of really fucking bad tendencies. Most of the pornography I consume is illustrated. I draw a lot, or at least I used to before I was super fucking busy with this channel. I like art, I like drawings. I followed fucking art porn blogs when I was in high school, and I continue to do so to this day. I like the art. And sometimes they draw the dicks really big and veiny, and I like that, you know? I like the big dicks when they're big and veiny. I think that those forms of art, the kinds that are pieces of art created by independent producers without a broader monopoly or industry behind them, tend to be a lot healthier, but they are nonetheless capable of being the subject of an addiction. Whatever your personal preferences with regards to sex, sexuality, pornography, and jerking off or whatever you're personally into, fine and dandy. But the two facts remain the same. A, the porn industry is fucked up. And B, it is entirely possible to be addicted to porn, no matter how good it may be otherwise. Okay? Okay, let's go.
Can I have my anti-porn people on the left and my pro-porn people on the right, please?
The light illuminating the back wall makes this a lot less spooky. You know? The light illuminating the back wall over here makes it less spooky than it did in the other video.
I have watched porn.
Is porn industry bad because of capitalism? It's bad because of every system. Capitalism, patriarchy, white supremacy.
Porn.
I've watched porn in the past, and I think I've watched more than my fair share of it, to the point that it changed my life. But right now I don't, because I'm at a point where it's been a decade. I won't be going back to it.
I watch porn. I also produce porn. What a great medium to use to help to explain to people different kinds of bodies, different kinds of sexualities, different ways that people fantasize about things in a healthy manner.
I agree with that, by the way. Porn can be super helpful with that kind of stuff.
I started off watching porn as young as 12 out of curiosity, and eventually it led into my sexual exploration and loving my body. So I watch porn on a daily basis to, satisfy myself.
The other fucking Buck Angel's like, I think it's a great medium through which to understand bodies and sexuality. She's like, I watched it when I was a kid. I just started jerking off every day, you know?
Hey guys. I don't watch porn. It's not like I don't think about sex or anything like that, but that's just something I've only seen cause destruction in the
Yes, Buck Angel is a trans man.
relationships that I've been close to, and I've purposely stayed away from it.
Don't you think they already had a problem before the pornography?
Sure, yeah.
So do you think the pornography just pushed it forward and made the situation worse?
I don't think it's the cause. I think it's a symptom of the cause. It certainly pushed forward into issues of deceit, of mistrust, and broken relationships that certainly weren't helped by an exposure to.
Well, wait, that's not a good argument. If you agree that the porn isn't the cause of the issue and that it's just another way in which the underlying problem manifests itself, then you could also advocate to ban alcohol, midnight runs, you could do anything. You could justify anything with that.
To pornography.
But what if you saw a healthy relationship around pornography? Would that change your mind?
I think amazing relationship is subjective.
Of course.
I think you could also direct that to me.
Yeah.
The thing is, professionally, I have just never seen it. We do have cases where they thought they were open to it, and one of them just got addicted to it.
What is addiction?
Addiction is when it starts interfering with other aspects of your life, when it interferes with your career, when it interferes with your finances, when it interferes with your erection. I couldn't masturbate for years unless I was viewing pornography.
Do you think shame has something to do with the reason why people...
Yeah, that guy works with addicts. Has he really never seen a single human being who's had a... If he's never seen a single human being who was in a positive relationship with porn, that could probably be because of his job dealing with people who are addicted to porn, but...
feel that they get addicted. I get shamed all the time for my career, but what I believe is that people have created this idea that pornography is negative, pornography is bad. People use these to blame or springboards to say, well, he used alcohol and he watched pornography, so that must be the reason.
If that wasn't there, if porn wasn't there, the relationship could be saved. High-speed internet pornography, in my opinion, escalates the decline of any relationship.
Porn has directly affected my sex life.
Well, that should be a 100, shouldn't it? Really?
I developed a sense of entitlement towards certain sexual acts. I expected that a woman in a relationship with me should be willing to give blowjobs or should want to have anal sex. And these things came before what she actually enjoyed. It caused the women a lot of pain. It caused them to look at their bodies and go like, well, he likes me for everything else, but he's totally not into it, or he's not with me when we're having sex because he's somewhere else imagining that.
All right, so this is a legitimate thing, right? This is a legitimate issue. when if pornography can lead you to like hyper objectify women's bodies so that you don't see them as a partner, but you just see them as a collection of sex acts that you feel entitled to, that's a real thing that happens. A lot of you guys are looking for excuses to just shit talk him here, but I think he's completely legitimate with what he's saying right now. Yeah, 100%. Now, I will say that I do think that I don't think I'd want to be in a relationship where like the woman wouldn't suck my dick. Or dude, I mean, I go with anyone. I can't imagine I would ever be in a gay relationship and they wouldn't suck my dick. But anyway, I guess I kind of assume dick sucking is on the table in any like modern relationship. But like if a person doesn't want to do anal, for example, yeah, this is just desensitization to the subject. In fact, I would encourage you guys, if porn's good and great, and I like porn, but if you want to like challenge yourself to ensure that you don't actually have a problematic relationship with it, why not take like a week or 2 weeks off of porn and just try to jerk off with your imaginations for a while? You should be able to do that. If you can't do that, if you can't masturbate with your imagination, that's a problem. You know, that's something that you should work on.
All of that, when I measured it and I look back,
it's a huge generational gap. Boomers don't blow or do anal. I'm pretty sure most boomers like blow. I'm pretty sure that the people who literally were at fucking Woodstock sucked plenty of dick, but I don't know about the anal though. What's my sexuality? I'm pansexual. I'm cool with anyone. I don't care.
Just came back to porn. I got to a point where I could not have sex or maintain an erection unless I was imagining a scene from some porn that I watched 3 months ago. And sadly, I'm not the only one. It took so long. In fact, for me, it took 18 months. And this involved a lot of work to know that it takes 18 months of journaling before I could have a...
I noticed there were people in chat who seemed angry at the idea of taking a break from porn to only use their imagination. You should maybe reflect on that a little bit.
Regular sex life again.
Do you think that there's a way that we as pornography creators could create content that would help them?
It's noble. I wish that years ago I tried to believe that, but once I realized how big the porn industry machine is, I just realized that that is not going to be the solution. I'm yet to meet a client who told me like, yeah, JK, I downgraded my porn to missionary. I started watching vanilla stuff. No, because it no longer starts with the vanilla stuff, and you all know that.
I will 100% agree with you. There is bad pornography. I will 100%, but that's
a real thing too. I really am sympathetic to a lot of the claims of the anti-porn side here. Guys, we all know this because this is a big fucking meme. Everybody knows this. You guys know this. Fucking they know this. Porn makers know this. Why do you think it is that you start off porn getting a massive fucking throbbing boner when you see a titty, and then like 6 years down the line of porn consumption, and you're getting off on like hardcore like throat fucking, like gangbang, like 6 dicks in the asshole at the same time kind of content? There's probably a reason for that. See, it's not just a kink thing, because if that was the case, that would be an instance of everybody's kink trending towards more violent, extreme sexual content. But I don't think people do that. It's desensitization. 'Cause it's hot? Be a little bit more introspective on your pornographic tastes. I always advocate for this. You should always be willing to engage in introspection to understand why you enjoy the media you consume. Why do you like this movie? Why do you like this music? What about it makes you happy? What resonates with you? You can learn a lot about yourself from that. And if you started watching porn fucking with those softly lit bedroom scenes where like a girl is like gently licking a big cock, and then like they cuddle the dude and they like make love or whatever, and now you're watching crazy fucking gangbangs, then that might be an indication not that your interests have shifted on their own, but rather that the nature of how you consume sexual gratification has brought you beyond what a reasonable understanding of sexuality is. And that's unfortunate, because it kind of sucks if you're getting off like 24/7 to like 3 dicks in an asshole, and then you go back to your daily life and you're doing what most people do for sex, which is either like fairly regular oral sex or vaginal or anal sex, depending on your relationship. Like one-on-one. If you're having sex at all. Okay, fine. If you guys aren't ready for this fucking revelation, then go for it. I don't care.
Said, and that doesn't.
And it's also possible that some of you legitimately have a specific interest in certain things that other people only arrive at through desensitization. And I'm not against kink either. I'm just pointing out that this process happens to a lot of people who consume porn, and it's probably not a good one. Desensitization is never a good thing. You know, it's like when you smoke weed a bunch, you know, and you smoke weed a lot. You smoke weed like 2 or 3 times a day, and then it's like taking an entire 2 bowls of weed before you even actually get high, because your body is getting desensitized to it. That's not a good process. You should be able to wean off these things, and otherwise, all you're doing is capitulating to your dependence.
Doesn't make all of it the case that it's causing people to have erectile dysfunction. Now me, I'm a transgender man. So I was born a woman and I became a man. I kept my vagina.
That's a way to phrase it.
I kept my vagina for a reason, but that said, I use it within my pornography, and I use that specifically to teach the world about sexual experiences with a man like myself. And it is sex educational on some level. It's also body educational.
But the question...
That's also very important too. A broader understanding of sexual and anatomical, you know, a broader understanding of the sexual and the anatomical can go a long way towards liberating people who have been marginalized through those categories. Positive representations of trans people, for example, are pretty fucking key. Positive representations of, say, for example, like women masturbating for fucking dudes who never imagined girls can even have orgasms. There are a lot of ways in which exposure to these things can be super fucking helpful. You said the porn industry is racist. How? I'm super curious. I mean, just go into any fucking interracial video. 98% of interracial content is giant black men on tiny white women, and it's meant to play to the insecurities of racist white men who are afraid of fucking Jerome taking away their white wife, and they fucking fetishize those interests by jerking off to interracial pornography. I can't show you guys on stream, but trust me, it's not just an IRL porn thing. There are drawn artists like, say, for example, John Persons or Black on White Comics. And these are interracial comics that play 100% to the insecurities of white men. Again, I don't have a problem with interracial pornography. I have a problem with 98% of the interracial pornography specifically playing to a racist kink, you know? I would have much less of a problem if interracial pornography was just a thing. You know a lot of these, huh? I mean, I keep up with the art.
Question that I have for all of you would be, what are we doing about the 11-year-olds who can one moment are playing Fortnite or Minecraft, and the next they are watching someone of your gender, which they have no understanding of what it is, and using that to determine what their sexual identity is going to be?
That's a big cringe argument right there. What if a child sees a trans man on their computer and it corrupts their sexuality? Ooh, I don't know. I don't know about that one. I remember back in my day when I was 11 years old. Fuck, what was I playing on my computer back at 11? Wait, what was I playing on my computer back in 11? Hold on, wait, what computer games were even out? Oh, obviously, Diablo 2. I remember, I'm playing Diablo 2, okay? I'm doing fucking Bale runs, you know? I'm doing fucking cow level. I'm doing hardcore season rankings, level 68. And then I fucking alt tab and I boot up fucking fucking Internet Explorer, and the page slowly scrolls down and I see a fucking lady with boobs but a dick, and instantly I'm fucking gone. I'm fucking lost. Instantly, I'm gone. Any chance of me growing up as a normal man? Fucking destroyed. Why is interracial porn special? We don't categorize people with different eye colors fucking, so why with skin color? I don't get why that's a separate category. Because people fetishize interracial porn in a way they don't with eye colors. It just doesn't happen with eye colors. In an ideal world, I'm a racial abolitionist, there would be no interracial category because it would be as absurd as an inter-height category where people who are 6'3" and 5'9" have sex with one another. Even though there are people with height difference kinks, there is no such category in existence right now. to my knowledge.
What are the ethics of it? Is it
Are
at
you
all
kidding me?
costs I
An
must
8-year-old
educate people?
When I was 8, I never got to see anything like that. So guess what I did when I was 8? I cut my arms, I tried to commit suicide. I hated myself because I was a man with a vagina at 8 years old. That was horrifying for me. Now, if I was 8-year-old and I got to pick up my phone and I got to see me, I would be like, actually, wow, I can actually be this man. But I never got that opportunity at 8 years old. Now,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if an 8-year-old should be looking at porn, but... Also, fair credit to Buck Angel for all of his problems, like, doing what he's done, you know, going where he's gone, at his age, pretty impressive.
I agree with you. Pornography for an 8-year-old is probably not the best thing in the world. But let's talk about the parents. If I had an 8-year-old, I would never let that 8-year-old have a phone or be on the internet.
It was so interesting wanted to run over here. So interesting.
Oh, I want to ask the chat, by the way, how long do you think you should keep your kid off the internet? Like they can watch videos that you've pre-prepared or whatever, but how long until you think your kid should be allowed to be able to go on the internet? Yes, the interracial thing also plays towards misogyny. 13? 13 seems a little bit late. When I was 13, I was already 6'2" and growing facial hair. I would have guessed like sometime between 10 and 12. 13 seems a little late, but
I actually remember this story. In like the
depends on the kid.
middle of the talk, a mom, she stood up basically and raised her hand and grabbed the mic. Her son, who was 8 years old, he had Googled sex, so he was curious. He wanted to know, you know, like any other kid. But what he found then was porn. And I would argue that the mainstream pornography does not actually show sex, if you know what I mean. He was not so upset about like what he had seen. He was more upset about the thing that he had seen. He thought, this is what my parents do to each other in bed.
But why is
Oh wait, what video did he find out? Oh geez. Oh no. Oh boy.
Fearful? That's the thing that I want to understand, why kids are fearful of sexual interaction. I noticed in Sweden and Norway and that particular part of the world, much more open about bodies. What I thought to myself was, well, what if children on some level were taught about sex as a positive thing, as a beautiful thing, as not a...
Absolutely. But that's kind of I think perhaps you're missing the point of the story because he was looking for sex.
Yeah.
You know?
He was, yes.
He was.
But what he saw was not nice.
Not what he, exactly. But I would assume and I would guess that it was quite aggressive.
I think I wanted to add on to something you were saying. You have to have some level of maturity to watch it. I remember coming across a video where a girl was masturbating with a Sharpie marker. And I thought, oh, look, she's having fun. Let me grab a Sharpie marker. Let me try this. Made absolutely no sense. I remember doing it and I remember thinking, what is this? Like, this makes no sense. So me doing my research, I realized certain masturbation techniques. And then I realized, oh, pornography isn't real. Like,
She is such a fucking coomer, dude. Yeah, when she said masturbating with a Sharpie, that has to be in the ass, right? Aren't Sharpies always in the asshole? I thought that was like an etiquette thing.
A show. And unfortunately, not everybody has that realization. And I'm not saying that's the cause of the addiction or whatever, but there should be some level of understanding.
Yeah, so I said no to the prompt because I currently do not have a sex life. But I've definitely experienced emotion.
Everyone who doesn't get the butt Sharpies meme in chat is revealing that they're like under 20. They're revealing to the world that they're either a fucking catatonically normie or they're under 20.
Emotional intimacy with somebody who was addicted to pornography and absolutely experienced hurt within that, of him not being honest about the fact that that was something he struggled with, and that, similar to you, it sounds like, had expectations of me that I couldn't fulfill and that I didn't even know where they were coming from until a year into the relationship. So yeah, I think pornography can affect intimacy without affecting particularly a sex life.
The stigma around porn is too negative.
Oh, damn. Oh, we're crossing the aisle.
What I see when I meet kids and youth, especially like in classrooms, is that the stigma and the kind of shame and the guilt is exactly what is kind of hindering the conversation. I'm all about like lifting that off of their shoulders to have, you know, the...
I actually think this one is really reasonable. I don't think she's said anything thus far that I disagree with. Can anyone think of anything she's said that's been unreasonable? What is butt Sharpie? Jesus Christ. I'm pretty sure it was like an old 4chan meme, or one of the ways in which you could take it's one of those send pics or get the fuck out thing, and butt Sharpies were a frequent request for the ladies. You don't get the Sharpie thing? It's just a 4chan. They put Sharpies in their butt. That's it. Jesus, guys, I'm 25. Come on, I'm not dying tomorrow. Don't make me feel like I'm already fucking out with the times. Don't do this to me. I'm concerned about you. Everyone knew this online. All right. Okay.
Conversation be open and honest. That's why I think it's so important that this is happening, you know, that we're talking about this.
I believe the stigma should be negative. I think pornography is sinful. The reason I did come over and said it's too negative is because, especially in the church, there's the stigma of shame that comes after asking for forgiveness. I just think that there should be an easier way to move on and grow out of that experience.
This is such like a divide, you know? This is such a not generational. This is such a cultural divide. There are some parts of America where admitting that you've looked at porn gets you literally like family shunned. Like your actual family will turn around on you and shun the fuck out of you for it. Or the community will treat you like shit, or guys and girls will like look at you like you're fucking weird. Church. Oh God, church. Not that I've ever been, but I know from families and testimony from others. And there are some parts of this country and some communities in this country where you can legit just like come in with a fucking hentai mag and show other people. Did you talk about porn with your family? No, they talked about it with me after they caught me. But there are some communities, like more progressive or queer communities, where you can legit just like show up with like a hentai mag, be like, haha, check this out, isn't this funny or something? There's such a huge divide. There are probably some parts of the country and some communities that are maybe a little bit too flippant with pornography. I would say probably, maybe, but most of the country still probably treats it the same way they treat the devil's lettuce, you know?
So we've talked a lot about the way that stigma and consumption affects the consumer, but we haven't really talked much at all while we've been sitting here about labor and the people who make porn.
True.
And from my point of view, I see firsthand so much the way that stigma against porn affects the lives and the safety of porn performers. It is near impossible to get a decent OB/GYN. It is hard to find a mental health care professional who will not pathologize you for your choice of occupation. It leads to a well-known phenomenon, people losing their families just by virtue of what they do for a living. It's the palpable discrimination that sex workers of all kinds face because of this kind of negative stigma.
True. Yeah, wait, isn't that the girl in Philosophy Tube's video on sex work? Is this not the same woman? I recognize her voice. Yeah, sex work is work, folks. Any of you fucking swerfs out there can just listen, it's not work, so it's good for you, okay? You can get on your knees and cram your entire head inside of my asshole so I can fucking reverse for you, okay? And then when I regurgitate you through my mouth, that'll be the stupidest thing that came out of my mouth that day, okay? Listen, fucking sex work is work. If you believe that sex work is somehow selling your soul, but regular labor isn't, you're a fucking hypocrite, okay? Sex work is work. It's that simple. And it's fucking crazy to me that in this country, you can go out there, and as long as you have a proper license, you can film pornography. You can pay people to have sex with one another, and if you got a camera there, it's cool. But if you don't have a camera there, it's prostitution, and that's illegal. It's fucking wild. I have no idea how our law... I have no fucking idea. But I can lighten the mood up, okay? Watch this. I can lighten the mood up. An anonymous friend of mine, okay? Listen, they're like deep throat, okay? They're like in the back with their voice modifier on, you know, like... this is my story. An anonymous friend of mine, apparently, okay, his friend, he has a younger brother, right? When he was younger, like younger high school, maybe even middle, I don't fucking know, okay? The younger brother had a group of friends over, and they were all going to try masturbating. Because they're like 12, they don't know what the fuck they're doing, so this is like a hilarious group event. Any of my fucking boys in chat will know that y'all did some crazy weird shit with each other's dicks when you were kids, okay? So don't even fucking act weird about it, alright? Listen. So, the fucking younger brother showed up with the friends and stuff, and they had some wild fucking idea. Crazy fucking idea. Okay? About how you masturbate, okay? It's crazy as shit in the world, alright? So their method was you would grab your dick, your flaccid dick, and you would take a spoon that has lotion in it, and you would go in the bathroom and put the lotiony spoon on the head of the penis, like upturn it and put it on the penis head. And it was supposed to feel like sex. That was what made it feel like you were having sex. So my friend was just chilling out drawing, because this was my artist friend. Was just chilling out drawing, and one by one, the people would come out of the bathroom and to their friends, and the guy coming out of the bathroom would be like, dude, whoa. And the guys would be like, holy shit, did it work? He's like, yeah, dude, I felt it. I totally felt it, dude. And the next guy would go in with the same spoon. And they all were at like 5 of them. And apparently my friend, who was just like in the other room, I guess, hearing most of this, just kept drawing. just kept drawing, you know, just okay.
Hi. No, this was a good one to watch from the outside. This is the first moment standing there that I was able to see, like, okay, wow, because I could feel it this time instead of just listening. I feel the human part, and that's why I say that the stigma hurts. That's what I see. The stigma hurts, but the stigma needs to be there because sometimes it's the only way I can get my point across.
You can stigmatize the industry and the practice without stigmatizing the workers. Those are very different things. You can say the porn industry is shitty and that porn does shitty things, but the people who make porn are just fucking duderinos trying to get by, living life, walking down the street. Everybody that you meet has a different point of view. And I say, hey.
So I think what you're saying is that to help the demographic that you need to help, it needs to have that stigma. But stigma in any way, shape, or form is not good for anybody. Once stigma is there, it's just going to create a negative space. I agree with it. You don't ever have to accept what I do. Only thing I ask for is respect. And respect means no stigma.
While I would maybe not give you exactly what you want as respect for your profession, I absolutely respect you as a person. And
You can't. This is the hate the sin, love the sinner bullshit that Christians have used as an excuse to throw hate onto hundreds of millions of people for centuries, while still feeling like the sanctimonious disciple of Jesus they pretend to be. It's the exact same horse shit, you know? It's a way of compartmentalizing their perspective on an issue so they can demonize a person while still claiming to respect them.
And I think that your opinions, while totally wrong, are you have the right to have that opinion.
Our society needs better sex education.
Nobody can do. If anyone doesn't step forward on this, if anyone here doesn't believe America needs better sex education, then they need to fucking walk forward and then keep walking and walk out of the studio. Okay. Dude, I like these Jubilee things. This setup is so much better for stream responses, dude. The Vice segment, sometimes the moderator will come in and actually like dictate the discussion. Sometimes like the questions are really fucking dumb. This feels like it's almost designed to be responded to as a streamer. This is fucking sick.
Don't just teach them how sex works biologically. Teach the children about consent and autonomy over their bodies and communication with their partners and how to do that in a healthy way.
Emotional intelligence is one of the things that is lacking among men who watch a lot of pornography.
It's true. That's true.
Society, the way we were raised, Disney, and then Pornhub. And then you get this messed up emotional intelligence thing. You know, it all conflicts.
That dang patriarchy again.
You have to understand, man, it's true because I was born as a woman. I was not born as a man. It's dominance.
Hey, just keep doing it, Buck. Oh, Buck.
Taking, that's what we see as masculinity, and I totally disagree with that. It's very toxic, and so we do need to talk about that. But for myself and my particular porn and my desire to create education around it was specifically targeted to people like myself. It's because I didn't have sex till I was in my 30s because I was too freaked out about my body.
I just want to point out, and I've pointed this out before, I'm not trying to be weird about it or anything.
Till I was in my 30s.
I'm not trying to be weird about it or anything. I just think Buck Angel is just so fucking cool if you ignore all of the problematic parts. Okay, I know that no cancel Reno. If you ignore the transmedicalism and the NB phobia and the pandering to right wingers and the incredibly biological perspective that he has on transness and such, the actual arc that he's gone through. He's just like a cool, like hot dude with like a really, really crisp fucking beard, you know, who, in spite of the incredible stigma against him, like managed to make it as an advocate and a porn star. Again, I need to be perfectly clear on this. He believes a lot of really shitty things, but in spite of that, I think it is important to recognize that that there are things for which he has actually he's done quite impressively. I think that's a fairly reasonable take. Do you think his beard is soft or like a dry brush? I bet that his beard is not soft at all. Oh yeah, also almost getting my girlfriend's personal program defunded by showing kids porn he shot. Yeah, well, when I said if you ignore the shitty things, I was including that. The specific shitty thing that you brought up. That was part of the things that I was ignoring, okay? Of course, the real crusher is that Buck Angel is probably far more progressive when it comes to trans issues than the average person of his age. It's because he had to use transmedicalism to justify his transness back in the day? Yes, this is what Contra was talking about. A lot of older trans people have to rely, or they had to rely, on transmedicalism as a method of self-justification because at the time the theory didn't really exist for them to justify their existence otherwise. Like, if you started talking about gender performativity back in the 1980s, nobody's going to fucking listen to you. Even today, people aren't going to listen to you. I'm not saying that excuses the shitty things that he's done, which are numerous. I'm just pointing out that I feel very often that people take an unnuanced approach towards... It would be a little bit like, to use an extremely hyperbolic example. So I'm not equivocating these two figures, but it would be like if people started like shit talking MLK every time he came up because MLK like cheated on his wife and beat his wife and stuff. Did he beat his wife? I think he just cheated on his wife. Again, he's no MLK, not even close. But it's a way of like characterizing and framing things properly to make sure that we can take the positive messages we need from public figures while still being critical of their negative messages. We're not in the 80s anymore, Vosh. Foxina, I know we're not in the 80s anymore, but when you've spent your entire fearful life desperately defending the validity of your existence using a particular line of thought, you can't just change that. That's what he believes now. The things that he believes are a product in large part of his upbringing. But I think it's really reductive for you to be like, oh yeah, he grew up believing that because he grew up as a trans man in the fucking 70s and 80s. well, it's not the 80s anymore, so like, whatever. Like, I know, okay, it's not that easy. Whatever the case may be, you know, good things for the good things he's done, bad things for the bad things he's done.
Because I was too freaked out about my body and too freaked out about how people would feel about me. And so I was not comfortable sexually. So I knew once I became sexually comfortable, thank God for that, because that gave me a space to be the man I am today.
Tell me if you're wrong, but I think we basically all agree that at the end of the day, we recognize sex as something that should be beautiful, that should be a form of expression, just who you're expressing it to and when you express it, we all kind of disagree on.
I think all of these views were necessary to create something nuanced, and I hope that it improves the mental landscapes of the folks who consume what we produce.
All right, right on.
Okay, this was pretty fucking chill. I actually like this a lot. I feel like there were points to be taken from both sides. Haha, both sides and lane centrism. But there were some takes from the anti-porn side I just disagreed with.
I love how respectful of a conversation that was.
Damn, now we've got fucking big hat lady. That hat looks like it weighs 4 pounds. Look at this hat.
That was awesome. Yeah, I think this is one
The
of the
brim
best
is so thick.
representations of what middle ground is supposed to be. As you guys know, Jubilee, we are trying to create a movement of change makers for human good. And that means you guys. You guys are...
The brim, it just looks like a really heavy hat. You're right, it is a dialectical process. Exactly. It's easy dialectics right here. It's the simplest thing in the world. Thesis, porn is good. Counter thesis, porn is not good. Synthesis, there are aspects of porn which is bad, but it has the capacity to be quite nice. There we go. Nice. We did it. We're gonna be doing this channel more in the future, for sure. I might even do this channel on non-directly political topics, because I have topics that aren't just socialism that I want to discuss. Damn, dude. All right, that was sick as shit. We got to go over donos. Vosh centrist arc win. We'll get there. Yeah, dude. Where's the where's the streaming? I want the streamer alley there. We can get like me, Hassan, and who would be another good candidate? Bad Bunny for the synergy versus like Destiny, Dan and Lycan or something. One of those discussions. We do it up in person. We got the questions and stuff, you know. Like we all get to the left and the right, you know, the lights turn on. Do you think that Hassan is molding? Step forward. Yeah, step. Hassan is cool with you, no beef. I have no idea how Hassan feels about me. I'm going to keep doing the meme though, you know? I'm not going to stop. Not Sargon. Why would we ring Sargon? Sargon doesn't stream. I guess he streams? He's not known as a streamer though. Hassan likes you, lol. I like Hassan! I just, it's so frustrating, dude. It's the same fucking story every time. He talked about you positively in YouTube. Why? Okay, it's so fucking frustrating for me, okay? I feel this way about so many things and so many different people, okay? I know I've said this before. Destiny, even though I genuinely do believe he's been going downhill lately, I think he's caught a case of the pundit brain. He's grown too uncharitable towards left-leaning positions, and he's way too hyper-vigilant in like canceling or decrying them or whatever, which is super fucking disappointing. He also seems less interested in like pursuing correct positions and more interested in aligning himself with positions that have the least number of irrational actors, which is a close distinction, but they're nonetheless not the same thing. Whatever the case may be, Destiny's real good at arguing, right? And I feel like a lot of left-leaning people kind of bash heads with him, and they do poorly when discussing things with him. Even if I overall tend to agree with the perspective of the person arguing with Destiny more, like I would in the case of Hassan, for example, Destiny's just really fucking good at arguing. And in the context of those arguments, I have to side with Destiny. Because, I mean, I can't determine the winner of an argument by who I like more coming into it. I can't determine the winner of an argument by who I believe ideologically has the better positions that aren't being expressed here. I have to go with what's going on in the argument. So I do, and it usually ends up leaning towards Destiny because he's good at debating, you know? Why do I feel like the lighting in here is really strange? Hyena, maybe. I was kind of hoping to just chill inside today, though. I didn't really want to go out and do that, but maybe we can talk about that. Can you react to Lily Orchards? Wait, guys, can I ask you a sincere question? I usually tend to be nice about this, but I'm actually, like, demanding it of you or I'm going to start banning. Stop spamming links to me. Just stop. I look at everything in chat. If you link me a video or a document or anything like that, and I see it, by which I mean my eyes look at it, like, that's it. You can just leave it at that. If there's anything you really desperately want me to see, email it to me. Stop spamming me in chat. Just email it to me. I look at every email. I respond to every email. I'm just pointing that out. I'm not mad at any of you. Just gotta be real fucking clear about that. And I don't want to go over Lily Orchard again. Fuck that dude. Not fuck that dude. Fuck that comma dude. Just want to point that out. This is important. Well, it's a purple link, so it's probably not Araxio. Yeah. I used to ban you people. I need to go back to that. I used to ban people fucking hard. If people spammed links or if they gave me like links that weren't what they said they were, I used to ban them for that. But lately I've been getting soft. Why is boy pussy so much less represented in porn than girl dick? For one, girls are more popular in porn, period. Whether they're trans or cis, most people who consume porn are men, and most men are attracted predominantly to women. For two, the stigma about being able to express an interest in genitalia you wouldn't otherwise typically get to express an interest in, while still sticking to the gender of your preference, is much more common amongst men than it is women. Therefore, men who are curious about penises but don't feel comfortable engaging with other men can turn to trans women, whereas women, and I'm saying cis women here, of course, cis women who may be curious about pussy are usually a little bit more comfortable experimenting with other cis women. Oh yeah, guys, the fact that I got so many frivolous Discord DMs is one of the reasons why I had to stop responding to all of them. So please do respect the email. I love you guys, okay? Can we all be good to me? Debunk the privileged game vid? Okay, if you don't do it now, I don't know what you're referring to, but I'll probably get around to it eventually, right? Here, let me go over donos. Crack Rock Steady with the 569. How would people express attraction towards masculinity and femininity without the concept of gender existing? Also, how dangerous are liberals like Christy Winters and the morons in the New York Times? The morons in the New York Times like Brett Stevens need to fucking go in Minecraft. Christy Winters isn't that dangerous. In terms of how would people express attraction towards masculinity and femininity, they wouldn't really. You would just have like body preferences or behavioral preferences, you know? It's entirely possible that you would still end up leaning towards people who are feminine. If you're a straight dude now, and then we warp you 1,000 years in the future and your brain is suddenly acclimated to a genderless environment, you would probably still be attracted to mostly the same people. You know, like we don't lose any descriptive power there. Now I can say I'm into women, mostly like feminine girls, but also feminine guys and andro people or whatever. And then in the whatever hypothetical future system, I could say I'm just mostly into femininity. You know, I like soft people, hairlessness. You know how it'd be. Even if there is a little bit more difficulty in succinctly describing your sexual preferences, I still think it's worth the trade-off that we would get for more human freedom in removing gender. Samantha Falk with the $5. Have you done any Amazing Lucas trans videos? No. The only Amazing Lucas video I ever did was when he was complaining that the MK11 ending for one of the characters involved ending slavery, and he was offended by this somehow. I might have to get around to it. Donnan with the $5. Hey Vosh, really enjoying your stream. Love from Norway. Thank you. Enjoy your relatively politically stable government compared to mine. Thank you. I really appreciate it. It makes me sad Vosh will never find me sexy. Trans rights defender, even if you're joking, I just want to say you should not be even remotely concerned about what my sexual preferences are and how they relate to you. Those are two utterly disconnected things. I have not raved Dubin. He is not worth watching. Absatoth with the incredibly generous $15. Thank you so much, comrade. Thanks, Vosh, for being a trans ally. We need your advocacy. Damn right you do. Never forget it. Nah, for real, though. Like, it's cool, you know? You're cool to me, I'm cool to you. It's all good. The only trans people who aren't cool to me are all the fucking woke scolds led by Lex3 on Twitter. I think Lex3 is like the hive father? I have no idea. Of like woke scoldy dipshits. It's actually insane to me how much stupidity radiates from them. They have me banned, so I don't get to see it directly, but I see the takes radiate outwards, you know? Thank you. The Crimson Drummer with the $5. What do you think is the most effective argument against capitalism? I don't think there's like a single argument that can be functionally levied against capitalism. I think the fact that that there's just no argument against the fact that people tend to be happier when they work in worker co-ops. That if they're owned collectively by the workers, this tends to bring about better social outcomes. That it's just an empirically more efficient trade. But you can also talk about the rate of falling return, or you can talk about the fact that bourgeoisie control fucking everything. You can talk about the fact that wages haven't kept up with productivity. There's just a huge range of arguments. You have to bring up a lot. Yeah, Fluffy Dragon 3. There have to be a lot of arguments to be brought up. There's no way to go through it shortly. Moonshoes Gene with the $5. What about woman Nazis? Can we punch them if you're a man, or should we leave punching women Nazis to women? Not advocating to punch women, by the way. I love you. Dude, fucking punch women Nazis in Minecraft. I'm very opposed to political violence. But if I wasn't opposed to political violence, you should hit woman Nazis just as hard as you hit man Nazis. I don't care if their jaws are weaker. Fuck them. Their fault for being born with weaker jaws, you know? Born strong or die. That's the Nazi mantra right there. I try Epsitov. Illumilani with the 666. Don't listen to flat earthers talk ever. I try to avoid it when I can. It hurts. And dealing with conspiracy theories fucking hurt too. Wooly with the gifted tier 1 sub. Enjoy, comrade. Miles88. I hope you enjoy the gifted tier 1 sub. Very generous. Thank you. Witty Name 83 with the $5. Just got my MS. Am a little high, and your sultry voice is keeping me calm and chill. Keep up the great work. I'm so happy for your success. Thank you. I have not even come close to hitting my stride, though. I want to say, I hope to one day legitimately get more viewers than Destiny. That's the mantra by which I have to. That's the metric by which I have to compare myself. You know, I mean, how could it not be that? Of course, it's that. One day, it may never happen. In fact, it probably won't. The odds of me actually getting to be a larger streamer on average than Destiny are unfathomably low. But it's a goal. Did you know Illuminati is Pig Puncher's girlfriend? Wait, really? Oh, I didn't know that. Happy having Pig Puncher as a boyfriend. Birthday. I don't know. Oh, done soon, Hyena. And yeah, we can get the weed at least. Caleb Roma with the $10. Thank you. Just use your imagination. Reminded me to ask, have you heard of aphantasia? Any thoughts of it? I have, but it's been a while. Suggested name for a condition where one does not possess a functioning mind's eye and cannot voluntarily visualize imagery. Yeah, I've heard of that. I mean, if you literally can't like visualize things in your brain, that seems like a disability to me. I don't know. No, I've never really done any like thoughts on it. It's not that you can't imagine, it's that you can't visualize things in your mind. Very strange. I can't even imagine, but I don't know. There's a lot of mind-fucky mental conditions out there, you know? A Jew for you with the $5. Please don't put Sharpies in your butt. They will get stuck. That's true. Don't ever actually do that, you know? I have not seen that, Xeno Arid. Jack Attack LP with the $5. Nicole strikes me as a wait till marriage trad wife who caught her boyfriend jacking it and turned it into a big thing that broke the relationship. Yeah, that's kind of the feeling I got too. But then she said that porn has never directly affected her life, which made me think that maybe it was her watching a friend lose another one or something like that. I have no idea. Yeah. That thing though, if like a partner freaks out if they catch you masturbating or whatever, I think that's pretty shitty. I mean, I don't think that's pretty shitty. Like, that's pretty fucking shitty. You know, you should let your fucking partner masturbate. Godspeed. It was her boyfriend who was addicted to porn? Then why, wait, it was? Then why did she say that she personally had never been affected by pornography? Did she interpret that as to only mean her having consumed it personally? Have you ever considered trying to stream on Mixer or Facebook? I don't think that Mixer has a particularly large political audience. Facebook might be a better idea, but I have made no effort towards building a Facebook brand. I would need to make a page, and I have not made a page, you know? It's possible though. Facebook streaming might end up being bigger. I would never pay attention to the chat. The American Failure with the tier 1 sub. Thank you, you a G. I try my best. And Frack is Word with the 10 bucks. Thank you very kindly. I really appreciate it. Thanks for helping me spread the good word. Feel better soon. Epstein didn't Sudoku. It's true. It's very difficult to get out those word number puzzles while someone is standing behind you choking you to death. Mixer is where the gamers are at, and the gamers are all reactionary. Yeah, I might. Yeah, I can go to Gab. Caleb Roma with the 5 bucks. I suppose depression was the next misfortune 2 weeks after the others. Fixed the car and window and laptop and finances, but depression's a bitch. I love you too, comrade, but not personally. I get ya. I hope things get better for you soon. I'm on the upswing right now. From a bit of depressive episode, I feel a lot better right now, so that's good, at least. Be well. All right? Be well. When are we getting more Dark Souls? Probably tomorrow night, and probably the night after. We, guys, I finished so much content in one day. I did Archdragon Peak, Soul of Cinder, and then the entirety of the Ashes of Ariandel experience in 4 hours, including one-shotting Black Flame Frida. That's some fucking content right there. T-Com Charlie with the 5 bucks. Thank you very much. Re-transporn. I found it as a teen and it really did impact my development. I discovered I'm not attracted to either male body types or gender expression or female genitals. Is that kink or sexuality? I think that would be sexuality, comrade. That's on you. And there's nothing wrong with your preferences as long as you're humane and reasonable when you engage with them. Arthur with the 5 bucks. I'm a trans man. I often get wildly insecure about how I haven't had sex because of discomfort/insecurity, and I'm only 19. Finding out Buck didn't have sex until his 30s is validating and helpful. Yeah, see? We can take the right lessons from the wrong people sometimes. Hey, not only did he have sex, he was a fucking porn star. You can go online and watch him having sex. I'm pretty sure I remember. He's gotten stuffed, you know? He's gotten airtight. So he came in fucking hard. Also, you're 19, comrade. I wouldn't worry too much about not having had sex. Don't worry about it. We can't all be early bloomers like me. You know. Red Eye Sam with the 2 bucks. Thank you. Howdy. What did I miss? Oh, nothing much. Sake Tanuki with the 5 bucks. I'd spam your P.O. box with items and requests to send help money to Nigeria, but you don't have one. At this point, I'm doing it specifically to spite you. But no, I have to get around to that. And Sake Tanuki with the additional 5 bucks. I meant get money out of Nigeria, but let's be honest, they probably don't need money taken out. The IMF has made sure of that. Yeah, probably. Nigeria has been experiencing some pretty rapid growth, though, so who knows, maybe 10, 20 years and we're going to have a big, poofy, fucking high GDP Nigeria. Wouldn't it be incredible to have a truly wealthy African nation? It would just be so nice. I feel like if one African nation does well, for maybe 30 more years, without too much neoliberal interference from China and America, that country could end up single-handedly being an argument against all of the fucking white people build civilizations bullshit. There have been African civilizations in the past, but admittedly it has been a little while, unless you're counting Egypt. But even Egypt's not doing phenomenally. What if it turns into the next China or India? I mean, Africa is expected to have a huge population boom. Irritix, I am, yeah, but I'm trying to lean off that a little bit for now. I'm trying to do more like populist content, because it brings in the views, and the more views means more viewers, and more viewers means more people to convert. Eternal Megatronus with the 1 buck. This dono is for making me crack up with putting the Tradwife Wojak over the Tradwife the debate. I'm glad someone in chat pointed it out. Thank you. Bavery with the 5 bucks. Hope you're feeling better, comrade. I am, though admittedly very hungry. We'll be fixing that soon. And Valith with a tier 2 subscription. Thank you. This is your monthly payment from Mr. Soros. Thank you, Soros. Blessed be your name above all others. Red Eye Sam with the 5 bucks. I've been wondering, do you have a bread tuber who you'd argue is objectively useless, and how so? No, I wouldn't. To my memory, there is no bread tuber who is objectively useless. Though Thought Slime did recently say some very dumbass shit on Twitter, so I'm leaning towards him. It's not really him, of course, but but it was a really stupid take on Twitter. What did Thought Slime say? I recently did a video on how I thought the YouTube walkout was a stupid idea for very well explained reasons. And Thought Slime did the whole subtweeting me, you know, like vague tweeting me thing, where he said, haha, guys, I'm a Walmart worker and I broke a picket line to go work over there as a scab because whatever, dude, Walmart's so big, who cares? It was like the most pathetic. I can't imagine the mindset of the LARPers who believe the YouTube walkout constitutes a strike. I actually can't fucking fathom. Whoa! That's not the part of the computer I meant to move. There we go. There we go. Back in order. And Sake Tanuki with the $5. Thank you. Would you ever do a stream, maybe with Vermin, on basic social skills like how to express romantic and sexual interest to others without coming off like a creeper deer in the headlights? Sake Tanuki, I actually have done a video like that before. It was maybe like 6 months ago in my old apartment, but I did a video on how incels can actually like begin to help themselves with inceldom shit. But that is something I want to talk about in the future. I want to be known as the left-leaning YouTuber who, apart from Contra, of course, who cares about and has like thoughts on the incel like epidemic, on the loneliness epidemic, you know? I want to talk about that. All right, folks. Hey, everyone pay attention. Hey. 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 Are you paying attention? Shut up. Listen, I don't normally do this. We're about to end the stream, but before you go, there's one last piece of information that you're desperate to hear. Are you ready? Are you ready? Okay, listen. I don't normally do this, and I hope you forgive me. I'm going to do a call to action. All right? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a call to action because I want to see if it works. All right? So no big investment or nothing, but I want to see if it works. This is my YouTube channel. 47,761 subscribers. We've gotten here pretty quickly, all things considered. I want to see if we can end the year on 50,000 subscribers. I'll even turn it into a fucking Twitter hashtag if I have to. I want to see if we can get this up to 50K by the end of the year. All right? By midnight on New Year's Eve. I want to see this on fucking 50K. Want us all to unsub? No, that's actually the opposite of what I was looking to. All right? I want to see you people aggressively fucking liking, commenting, and subscribing. Okay? Normally I don't do this. I'm shilling out today, all right? I want to see as many likes on my videos as I see views, okay? I want to see fucking beautiful ratios. I want to see comments down there, just a wall of people commenting for the algorithm, okay? I want you people fucking tweeting about me. If you got a Twitter account and you don't want to get bullied too hard, maybe don't talk about me. But if you're okay with getting bullied, fucking hey, Vosh, great ass videos. Take a look at this particular video, which I'm really fond of. Hey, look at this tweet. Vosh did a video on this specific subject. Go, maybe we can go ahead and take a look at this video. I believe in you guys, okay? I want to see if we can hit fucking 50K. I'm going to be bringing this up briefly. All right, I'm going to bring this up briefly every stream we're doing from this point on, okay? Real quick not long like we're doing right now, because I just want to see if it's possible to get this done. I've been averaging about 100 subs a day, which means that it would take normally 22 or 23 days for us to reach the 50K mark, but we don't have 22 or 23 days. We actually have 18, which means we'll only have to slightly increase the productivity of our channel growth to reach that goal. I fucking believe you guys, okay? That's what I'm doing. That's my call to action. If you don't give a shit, I totally respect that, okay? I'm just a fucking YouTuber. But if you do give a shit, then I also respect that because I am a YouTuber. And with that, folks, friends, comrades, allies, I must say, I love you all very much. It's been a wonderful stream. I'm delighted to say that my depressive episode seems to have alleviated for the most part, and I'm feeling more comfortable chatting it up with you guys. Have yourselves... Yeah, it's hashtag... I'm not joking. We're doing a hashtag. It's hashtag Vosh50K 2019. No, that's stupid. No, Vosh50K. That's enough. Just Vosh50K. It doesn't need to be that long. Hashtag Vosh50K. I love you folks, okay? See you all soon.